Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is August 20th, 2017. My name is Eric Peterson. Joining me today, Mr. Mike Tyson.
Hello, Eric. How are you?
I'm alright.
You're alright, are you?
Alright.
Ooh, that's a lovely roll of the R, sir.
Ooh, you like it?
Yeah. What fucking accent is that?
I don't know.
We've gone back to the River episode.
The river. Joining us
sounded
today,
like a
Mr.
really
Daniel Curtis.
I can't even do it. Hello, comrade.
Hello, comrade. Have you driven yourself to your new closer
Cousin
job
Nico,
yet?
you want to go aboard?
Cousin Daniel. Let's not get started with that again.
It's been a while.
Oh, God. Hi. Guys.
Alright.
Guys.
Alright.
Guys.
Alright.
Guys.
What?
Guess what time it is?
Stuck on repeat.
What time is it?
It's time to introduce our new guest.
Drum roll, please.
Dancy Gilbert.
That is me. You did it. You introduced me. Is that it? Do I go home now?
Yeah. Thanks for supporting us. We'll see you next time.
Dancy Gilbert.
So I have to tell you guys, when that came up in the Dino Crisis episode, I was out in my backyard sanding my deck. You know, it's a fenced-in area. Nobody can see me. But I'm sure they heard me because I was bellowing with laughter. I just, this is so... I did nothing to deserve this, but, I mean, as Mike pointed out last night, I have achieved meme status. So, my life is complete.
You are Factory Sealed famous.
I'm good with that. I really am.
You are very welcome.
A total of 1,000 people will hear it.
Total of 2 will care. All right. I like those odds.
2 of them are
Wait.
probably us.
Hey, it's more famous than we are.
Wait, speaking of listener numbers, have you put into account all the Dino Crisis fans we lost, all the Gale Platt fans we lost?
Oh, we've got none left. That was our entire audience. There's only Dancy Gilbert, and that's it.
Hey.
And even after this episode, who the hell knows if he'll still be around? I haven't checked the analytics, so I don't know. We could be down a few thousand.
Damn it.
Good going, Michael.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. He's got to ruin everything. First you come on with your sex change jokes.
And then you come on with your abuse of the guests. And abuse of the fans. And just lose everything. All this hard work we've put in over 5 years just gone to shit because of Mike friggin' Tyson.
Excuse me, Daniel. You were the one who brought up Gale Platt. I'm pretty sure that lost us most of the listeners. You know how many fans she has?
Oh, thousands.
Exactly.
Thousands. Millions, perhaps.
Dan, it's okay. I'm here to save the show from Mike.
Is he talking to himself or to me?
I don't know. I mean, I heard
Both.
Dan, so I'm assuming he's talking to himself?
Well,
So we should settle this now.
we should.
My vote
Is it
goes.
fisticuffs or?
My vote goes for.
I challenge you to a duel!
Did you bring the white glove? To
I
slap him
demand
with?
satisfaction!
Jeeves, bring me my jousting stick!
Get some croquet rackets in the garage.
Dan, need we
That'll do.
remind you of 1776?
Which Dan?
Both of you.
Yeah, remind me.
Yeah. Oh man. See, he lives in the Northeast where all this shit went down.
I live in the Northeast too. Who are you talking to?
Shit's gonna get real confusing. Dancy Gilbert lives in the Northeast of the great American homeland.
Oh, okay.
And you live in some shit town called Pity Me.
Can I be called Dan T. Curtis this week, please?
Is your middle name T?
Yes.
For testicle?
Yes, that's exactly.
Toenail.
Wow.
It's an old family name. Grandpa Testicle passed it on. And then he said on his deathbed, "I demand that all my ancestors have testicle as their middle name."
I don't know. I mean, you guys have some dumb names for things.
We do. But what does Dan C. Gilbert C stand for?
Just Carl. Something dumb like that. I don't know.
Cabbage.
Chester. Chimichanga.
Okay, I'll take chimichanga. I'll settle for it.
Cheese.
Dan Cheese Gilbert.
Oh, no, actually, cheddar Gilbert.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to
Sharp
step in
cheddar.
for a second and announce that Tom is not here because someone needs to do that. Guys, look, I'm already saving the show.
He knows the shit, this guy.
Look at this guy. He listens
wait,
to the
I
show.
thought he was
Mike,
Tom.
take note.
I know that Tom never turns up. Everyone knows that.
So this furthers
Particularly when there's a guest.
This
think
furthers
he's
the rabbit hole
gastrophobic.
that is Tom not on shows with guests, because conveniently this morning Tom sends us a message going, I got called in to work today.
Meanwhile, somewhere in England, he's sitting by his fireside, sipping a cup of tea, just laughing.
Fooled them again.
No, because he's sitting at work in front of his computer recording in the most perfect American accent as Dancy Gilbert. Tom likes to run
Yes,
the long
he is.
cons.
Yeah, Tom actually contacted me like 2 months ago. It was like, Dan, I need to learn how to speak American. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I can fix your accent, but we'll give it a go.
But
Yeah.
why would he need to contact you if you are Tom?
Well, the long con, we're just...
Wait, maybe
This is
maybe
a very
this
elaborate
isn't
plot.
Maybe this isn't a long-running joke from Tom. Maybe this is much darker. Maybe he's just got loads of split personalities.
Oh dear.
He's schizoid.
Maybe Tom is every fan we have on the Facebook community.
He just felt really bad because nobody listens to us, and he's created all these alter egos, and that's why he can never be on the show because he's just too physically exhausted.
Does he really work at Samsung, or is he just maintaining these profiles on a daily basis?
I've had a baby break into my room.
Is it your baby?
It is.
Did it have a
It
knife?
is my child. It is my child in my room about to make a bunch of noise.
Wow, we're such a professional show.
We are.
Mike, just bring the cat in, will you?
I was gonna say I'll go get the cat.
Where's he gone? Eric, come.
I'm here. I'm just waiting for this child to exit my room.
Or erupt.
Child, be gone.
There. Child is gone. This is the door opened, and it's a baby just crawls through the door.
Hi, everybody.
And then proceeded to just sit in the middle of the floor and look at me. With a cat in tow.
What, like on a little red wagon?
No, just sauntering behind. He's her guardian. That just threw... I don't know what we were talking about prior to this. I'm sorry.
We're talking about differentiating between Dan and I.
Okay, so we have to either sing your name or refer to you as fully Dancy Gilbert, or a combination of the above two.
I like combo.
Yeah,
I'm game.
done.
Dancy Gilbert, Dancy Gilbert, Dancy Gilbert. Just need to get that out of my system. Sorry.
It's going to come up at the most inopportune times.
Oh yeah.
I'm amazed that we've got this far without it just overtaking the entire podcast, frankly.
I assumed that was going to be like the first 50 minutes of the podcast.
Well, we can't just say it's time to start
stretch out
singing.
our Dancy Gilbert.
Okay. That's
It
good.
just has to happen.
Which has officially become known as Gilberting, I believe.
I found myself Gilberting in the shower.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
do tell. This is nice.
It's a bit saucy. See, I'd get nice and soapy,
Ooh.
and then let the water pour over me. Down my body. Whilst bellowing merrily tunes with the words Dancy Gilbert.
That's good.
I found myself the other day just in the kitchen making food, just singing Dancy Gilbert to the tune of Chemical Plant Zone. And I was like, what has happened to me?
That's like the best song to do it to.
I was doing
know.
it to Chemical Plant too.
I don't. And I'm sitting and playing on Sonic Mania this week, and all the songs are playing. I'm dancing friggin' Gilberting.
I was doing it with songs that would just pop up on Spotify. There's songs that I know the lyrics to. I'm just going to replace this.
It's the
No.
new music craze.
No word of a lie. I walked into the kitchen last night. Hazel didn't realise I was behind her, and she was dancey Gilberting under her breath. I don't know what she was singing, but she was doing it.
That's so great.
I wonder how many other people are doing it too.
Send us your Dancy Gilbert stories.
I legitimately want to show last episode and maybe part of this episode to some of my students so they can understand that you can just take like names and replace lyrics. But I feel like my kindergartners would tell their parents and I'd get fired for some of the stuff that's said on here, so I'm just not gonna do that.
Yeah, don't tell anybody that you do these things.
Well,
also, as a teacher, aren't you obliged to improve people's IQs, not ruin them?
Why do you think I'm not teaching anymore, Mike?
yeah.
Those kids will never be the same again.
I got a good 2 years in on them.
The Peterson effect.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to be brilliant. Or not.
But yeah, just Gilberting just strikes you at the most inopportune times. It really does.
It hit me with the Dr. Mario theme this morning.
I was doing
Dancy Gilbert, Dancy Gilbert, Dancy Gilbert, Dan. Dancy Gilbert,
I was trying to do
Dancy Gilbert, Dan. Dancy Gilbert, Dan. Dancy Gilbert, Dancy Gilbert, Dancy Gilbert, Dancy. And then it
I
loops.
love it. That's great.
I was trying to do Doomsday Zone of Sonic and Knuckles, and that's really hard. It's got so many parts to it. I think you need multiple Gilberts for that one.
You know the guy on YouTube that does the song Smooth McGroove?
Oh yeah.
We need to get in touch with him and do a Dancy Gilbert montage of something.
Look, as long as I'm collecting royalties, I
Nope.
don't care what you do with my name. I'll copyright this podcast. You wait.
Damn it. We're going to be hit with a cease and
I
desist.
copyrighted this show.
Everyone's got a shtick. So we need to find out who you as a person are and how you came to
Dan
Factory
Curtis,
Sealed. Shut up. Nobody cares.
Well,
Don't do what I did. Just go.
Jives.
My name's Mike Tyson.
That's about it.
Can I be on the show?
I'll try and be a little more coherent than that.
named after a boxer.
I like playing Earthworm Jim.
That's how you sound to us, Mike.
Good.
It's very
Then my life
attractive.
is
I can
complete.
see why Hazel is marrying you.
Oh, I'm a prize catch.
As well as a prize fighter.
Sorry, continue, Dancy Gilbert.
So I'm from Augusta, Maine, up in the far northeast, away from all the 1776 bullcrap. But it's still, I was part of Massachusetts when that happened, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
I am a music teacher in a very, very small district. I teach pretty much everything related to music in that district, and I found myself, this is my first teaching job, and I had this hour commute every day, back and forth. And I was like, man, I need to find some new podcasts. So I just randomly went on Apple iTunes and found a bunch of retro video game podcasts. Most of them were crap. But yours was the crappiest. And then,
I was waiting for it.
yeah, the early episodes, I was like, man, this is like, I got to keep going with this because there's like almost 130 episodes at this point when I started listening. This will get me through 6 months of commuting to work, and then you got rid of Aaron. You kicked him off the show because that damn dog. And I was like,
Wait. You're telling me there's episodes before episode 132?
Mike,
Yeah,
let me tell you a story. There was this magical time when there were 3 people plus Kevin, kind of. And then you showed up, and I don't remember Dan ever getting there. I just remember you. So,
Dan
Thanks,
just
man.
appeared out of nowhere.
he did. I remember that episode. It was, yeah.
The prodigal son returned.
Yeah.
But I just really, really enjoyed the content I was hearing. I was enjoying laughing myself awake at 5 a.m. driving to work, and then teaching children's and trying to keep the stupidity out of my mouth. But
Just
yeah,
halfway through a guitar solo going, get it!
Kids just shredding it.
more like a kazoo solo, but that's okay.
Do you still teach fourth graders the recorder?
I teach it to third grade, actually.
Is that not the worst part of your day?
So it wasn't. I teach at 3 elementary schools, and 2 of them had like 12 kids in the third grade class, and I was like, okay, the kids are actually like getting it. Obviously, I wore earplugs every day. The worst was when I encountered the third grade class, which had 25 kids in it, playing at once. Yeah, it was awful.
Oh, that's a lot of bad Frere Jacques.
But that's okay, because all of my students know that I'm obsessed with video game music, which is probably what pushed me into music in the first place. And I play a listening example at the beginning of every class. Usually it's stuff from like Donkey Kong and Sonic and whatever, just to expose them to more music.
You sound
And
like
then-
the best teacher ever.
I mean,
It's great
I'm
that you can link
definitely
those two
cool.
things.
Oh yeah, and it really helps being able to connect with the kids like that. I bought a book of sheet music for Minecraft and came in my first week and just played some Minecraft tunes on the pianos, and the kids were like, "You know what Minecraft is?" I'm like, "Dude, yes. All right, just let me play the piano."
Let me do this.
But my love of video game music has always been around. Like in college, I would for fun and I gotta send this to you, Eric. I did a complete string orchestra arrangement of the music from Mega Man 2, and it goes from intro to
Ghost
through
attacks everywhere!
Tell me
through
more.
the preferred boss method, starting with Metal Man and going through all the way to the end with the boss-like theme in the middle. Hey, if I kill him, I get to replace him on the show. It's okay.
Yep.
Stop! He's already dead.
But yeah, I do all these really fun things with video game music, trying to bring it from the regular medium of 8 and 16-bit music to like a contemporary ensemble. I've done a ton of stuff with Mega Man and Kirby and Sonic. I've done a funk version of Chemical Plant Zone that I'll send you, Dan.
Yes.
Mike, I have nothing for you. I'm sorry.
No, fuck you.
But yeah, that's pretty much me. I'm just a
How's it-
nerd that is.
Hasn't even sent me a dick pic yet. That's what all the guests normally do.
Well, that's how they get vetted onto the show.
Yeah.
Come on, Dan.
Well,
Send a mushroom stamp over.
Yeah. You got about another 90 minutes before the show's over, otherwise we delete the recording.
that's okay.
Oh shit, we're live! Ah!
Because of the Facebook post.
Is this a podcast?
By the way, if you want to watch us live on Sunday mornings, we're on facebook.com/group/Factory Seal Podcast.
Nice plug, man.
Or in the afternoons if you live here.
Hey, Dan.
What?
No, other Dan.
Oh, right.
Who?
Guess what I just did?
Oh god, I don't want to know.
Oh, that's a slippery slope. There's a lot of possibilities here.
I snuck a segue by you. I did it!
Dun, dun. Sorry,
Damn
hang on.
it.
I'll rephrase that. Dancy Gilbert.
That's it.
I knew
Show's
you were
over.
going
I mean,
with
we
that.
have to end Factory Sealed now. It's been a good run.
Yeah, bye. No.
You are not on top form today.
No, I'm not. I'm planning house moves and stuff. It's all very stressful.
Ugh.
Yes.
You're moving out of the house with the road in the middle?
I am.
Holy shit.
He's moving into one with a whole
The
highway.
new
in the
one
middle.
has a dual carriageway going through it.
That's right. That's what they call highways.
Get on the carriage and go that way.
Fuck off.
So then you get to buy important things.
Yeah.
like
I
Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful segue.
I'm learning really quickly, guys.
But Dan's already
didn't
bought
miss that
Sonic
one.
Mania.
Oh, that's fair.
Dad has played Sonic Mania to death since it came out, actually. What
So
a
I
game.
literally have no idea what this game is.
Oh, man. No idea.
None.
Do you know what
Zilcho.
Sonic is?
Some kind of
He's
squirrel.
like Mega Man, but a little faster, and he collects coins.
Do you know what video games are?
Fuck off with the coins!
Damn.
I can just physically see you start to perspire and your knuckles turn white every time I say that.
actually have clenched fists right now.
Oh wait, this is the hedgehog that's constantly suffering from diarrhea due to all the chili dogs, right?
Yes, that's
Yes,
him.
that's
Oh,
the
okay,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in.
Or as Dan calls him, so nice. Because he can't pronounce things properly.
So
Oh,
nice,
man,
Sonice the Hedgepig.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, we should talk about Sonice the Hedgepig. Mania.
I've got that Mania.
What is this game, Dan? Tell us. This is your jam, so I'll let you jam it away.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
No, I said Dan, not Dunsey Gilbert!
Right, I do apologise. Sonic the Sonice the Hedgepig Mania is a brand new game in the Sonic franchise, which is like the original Sonics, which haven't been out for about 22 years. And it is marvellous.
It was an effort to revive the franchise from its recent shit games.
Sonic 06.
Yes.
That game was janky as hell.
All right.
I remember spending weeks waiting for the frigging loading screens after a person says one sentence and it goes into a loading screen so they can see another sentence. I mean, what the hell?
And you persevered with that?
I actually got quite far in it before finally giving up.
Jesus Christ, Daniel.
I know.
More patience than I have.
You know, I think I finished it because I saw the scene where Sonic gets kissed by a human and that was just disturbing.
Ugh.
Mm,
Ugh.
but that was the worst one.
Does that mean that Sonic is a human transformed hedge pig?
Possibly. With Mania.
He's a maniac. So that's all you're going to say about this game. You've been just ghost attacking about this game for weeks, and that's your synopsis?
Well, no, I was hoping somebody would elaborate, and then we could talk about it as we do as a retro gaming podcast kind of discussion show. Like we kind of have a discussion.
Got it. So I was reading about the development process of this, and it's kind of been the team of people that made it grew up with the original Sonic games. So for them, this is kind of a work of passion.
Oh,
It's quite a fascinating.
well.
It's quite
It
a
shows.
fascinating story because the main guy who made it, Christian Whitehead, is very, very big in the Sonic fan game community for a long time. Basically, Sonic fan games are quite a big thing, and Sega, unlike Nintendo, actually kind of actively lets them at it and just goes, "Fair enough, you just do this." And there's some really good ones like Sonic Mega Mix, Sonic XG, and there was a whole project in the pipeline to do Sonic 2 with HD quality graphics at one point, but it never got fully off the ground. But Christian Whitehead, who used to be known as the Taxman, used to be one of the biggest developers, and he actually made something called the Retro Engine, which basically, built from the ground up, completely emulates the physics and the actual way that Sonic works in those original games. And Sega noticed this and went, "Would you like to come on board and port Sonic CD?"
We'd actually like to make some money for once.
Yes, and port Sonic CD over to the mobiles, and he did it with his engine. And after that, they went, "How about you make a new game using this engine?" And thus, Sonic Mania was born.
You can definitely tell it was made by fans.
It's amazing. It's
Bold statement. I'd say. I mean, everyone's going. It's as good as the original trilogy games and everything. I've not finished it yet, but I'm saying it. I think it may be better.
I think it's. I'm with you, Mike. I think it's the best one out of all of them because it's such a love letter to the past. Like, it tickles your nostalgia bone while also developing using the existing mechanics. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My biggest question is, like, why? Why have we waited 20 plus years for this? They should have just been making it. I mean, I know they wanted to go into the whole 3D realm. They saw Mario 64 and everything like that and wanted to go to 3D route. But how have they just not noticed that it's not working? and then still waited this long to go, actually, yeah, we're going to go back to it. I mean, I know there was Sonic 4, but that was a massive bag of balls. So
It was shite, Sonic 4.
And the funny thing about
bad.
Sonic 4, did you play Part 2, Dan?
Yes.
Because in Part 1, the physics felt really off. Like when you stopped moving, he'd just like instantly stop. And they fixed that in the second part. And the second part was good, but it was too little too late. But they never went back and patched the first part with the improved physics, which I found strange.
I thought the physics were completely off in the second one too.
Well, yeah, they weren't great, but they were better.
It's not really saying much, is it?
No, not really, no.
I was really excited for that coming out, and it was a hot pile of garbage. But what I'm glad that they did for Sonic Mania is actually maintain the art style of the original without kind of trying to shoehorn modern Sonic into it with more kind of 3D graphics.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't take the route like they did with Crash Bandicoot or the Oddworld remakes by trying to make it more polygonal, and they just left it straight sprite-based.
It just wouldn't have worked.
I mean, I don't know. I think they could do it successfully, but it just wouldn't be that nostalgic if they had turned it into 3D but still side-scrolling.
But the nostalgia aspect of the game particularly strong because they actually have remix zones from the original games.
Now, I may not have played much Sonic as a kid, but I still really liked those remix zones because I've played enough to have some memories of it as a kid. And popping into those zones, it's like, oh, this is comfortable.
And kind of the boss fights as well, they kind of turn it on the heads. Like, you might get ones you recognize, but they've completely changed it.
Or ones you don't have to fight at all.
Yeah, if you manage to break the game. Like
I don't know what happened with that. What world did I say that was?
Press Garden.
Press Garden.
Yeah. So I come into the last section of that area, just full tilt, and seem to just run through the boss area. And the only reason I stop is because I hit the canister that has the animals in it. And as the boss comes out, it's this ninja guy who Dan says they have some shinobi sound effects, who's throwing ice chunks at me. I jump up, release the animals, lose control of Sonic. The boss is still hitting me, knocking all my coins away.
No!
And then I'm done. I didn't have to fight him at all.
Look how Eric pauses every single time as well for a reaction.
Because I know it's coming.
Absolute asshole.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I just didn't have to fight him.
That's really weird. I hit a glitch today when I was fighting Metal Sonic, and the music didn't play, and it was much less dramatic.
That boss was super difficult for me.
The boss fights are quite tricky. Some of them are very lengthy.
Well,
There's not many rings.
I'm actually still at Metal Sonic right now because you have to race him first and then avoid him rocketing towards you. For some stupid reason, I only made it to that section with 3 coins. And
No.
I make it to the part where I have to fight him, and I couldn't figure out how to beat him at first because this little gray Sonic robot pops out, and you have to bounce him into Metal Sonic up top, and then you have to race him again after that, and by that time I'm out of coins.
No.
Are you dying a little bit inside?
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
The only
Every
boss
time
fight I
die.
didn't like so far was the spider one.
It was a bit... I didn't dislike it. It was pretty cool.
I liked it.
I will
It was
admit
quite interesting.
that it took me longer than I would care to say to figure out that when you're spinning on those propellers that you can choose which way to fly off of based on what direction you're holding. I thought it was based off the direction the sprite was.
No.
Yeah, I know.
If you had played Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you would know
Shut
this.
up!
Dan, have you made much use of the new dash jump ability at all?
No, actually.
What's that?
It took me ages to figure out what it is. But
So,
I figured...
sorry, Dan, go on.
I'll explain to Mike if you want.
Okay,
It's all right.
go on.
Basically, it's a new move. You jump, and then you hold jump in the air, and then when he lands, he does like a kind of speed boost.
How the hell are you supposed to know that?
Because it was in the trailers.
It's also in the instruction manual.
What instruction manual?
The
The
online one.
online one.
Why would I read the online instruction manual?
Because then you would know things.
No, I prefer to be ignorant.
Yes, clearly.
Dan, did you see as well, if you've got Tails with you, you can now... Because obviously before, when you had Sonic and when you're playing as Sonic, you had Tails with you, you had to have player 2 control his flight if you wanted to fly up anywhere.
Yes, if you jump and jump again, then he starts flying, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you can control it, which I thought was a neat little touch as well.
It's still quite hard to grab him sometimes, but I noticed that quite quickly. I used it to find a few of the special stages.
If you then choose to play as Knuckles, is the game different?
Slightly.
Yeah, well, he can access different areas because he can glide, climb, and he can also walk through breakable walls.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That also applies to Sonic 3
And Knuckles.
as well. Yeah. There's actually a hidden game mode, which, spoilers if you don't want to listen, skip ahead a couple of minutes. It's just called Knuckles and Knuckles mode.
Yeah.
So you can have Knuckles with a second playable Knuckles.
I saw that because that's kind of an online Sega meme of just adding Knuckles to stupid shit. Have you guys ever looked up pictures of it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very funny.
How do you
So you
access
mentioned-
that?
Knuckles and Knuckles in Knuckles and Knuckles.
Dan, you mentioned obviously remix levels, but they've done it with the music as well. So, and on Sonic 3, for example, you had 2 acts, and the levels would be slightly different as you went through. And they do the same on this. There's 2 acts, and then the second one is a much more remixed level, or it's completely brand new if it's an old, even if it's one of the older ones. And the music there gets completely remixed as well, and they've done such a fucking good job with it. It sounds like it was made in those original games.
It's so good. Like, the remix of Chemical Plant on Act 2 is amazing. With the dance beat and stuff. It's just so good.
And we've finally stepped away from because in all the 3D games, for some reason, they have all that like that butt rock, don't they? Of just like no flying at Finland, Sonic the Hedgepig.
Oh god, that's so annoying. Oh, man. Not you, Mike. Just the direction they went with
Mike.
the music in that franchise. Well, yeah, Mike too. But the direction they went with the music is just like, okay, Screamo's dead now. We can get rid of that. It's fine.
Can we have more renditions of Mike singing songs like that?
So does the Hedgepig!
It was me breaking out into song that caused the dancey Gilberting, so I'm not sure if that's wise.
Who knows what else will spawn?
No, but the music is fantastic, and the music for the new levels is totally on point as well. Like Studiopolis, I've been singing that for days.
Stupidopolis.
Yes, Stupidopolis. Eric read it wrong.
I saw that. I'm like, no way they named it Stupidopolis. I expected a level of just drooling simpletons.
Finally, I'm home!
Yay!
I mean,
The press garden level's pretty cool as well.
They could have done without the underwater level.
Hydro City
City
is a very famous zone.
Yeah, I understand that, but they could have done without it.
I liked it.
Nah. Well,
it
it
was
was
the tune to that one too. Flying Battery is the best tune though. I love Flying Battery's on. So good.
I haven't played it enough to really know the tunes yet.
Dancy Gilbert, dan 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 dan, dancy Gilbert, Gilbert, Gilbert.
Dancy Gilbert. Dancy.
Dan, I'm surprised you haven't tried doing that with One Winged Angel yet.
He did.
I did it last week.
He did.
What?
Oh yeah.
I must not have been paying attention. I don't know.
You were
I
probably
wasn't
pissing
listening.
yourself laughing too much. I did the whole.
That was probably it.
I did the whole build up to it, just like in normal gibberish, and then just went Dancy Gilbert.
Oh man. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, and we did North
Wow.
Coral.
Yeah.
I'm having the flashbacks. It's coming back to me.
Dancy Gilbert, Dancy Gilbert, Dancy Gilbert.
The Gilbert saucer.
Oh man.
Oh man, that's brilliant.
Copyright that.
I copyrighted this show.
Yeah. Makes you sound like a very unappealing fat man, though.
I actually the other day put Liberai Fatale on off Final Fantasy VIII. It was too
Good job.
very hard.
There's a lot of songs in Link's Awakening that you can dancey Gilbert to.
That was a beautiful segue, Eric.
Yeah. See? But you already missed one this show, so...
No.
Do we want to say anything else about Sonice the Hedgepig?
Play it.
If you like Sonic, get it!
It gets a hearty get it from me as well.
Eric is very reluctant to say that he likes Sonic, and even he's saying he likes it. So
It's real good.
And you can collect loads of coins on it, so, you know.
Whoa. Did you just admit that they're coins?
No.
I am isolating that soundtrack,
Yeah, put it on the soundboard.
and
This is
every
your
time...
phone, just isolations of me.
Yeah. Oh, man. For the first year and a half of my oldest daughter's life, my ringtone was Dan going, "What?" So then she would just occasionally say, "What?" And then when we were teaching her the names of animals, we would just randomly throw Dan in there. Like, what does the pig say? What's the bear say? Rawr. What's Dan say? What?
What? That's awesome.
That was so funny. I loved that.
You've molded part of my child's mind, and I blame you.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's hope she never listens to this shit.
God. Yeah. Sonice the Hedgepig, fantastic.
I don't want to say too much about it because I feel it's a game you need to play and experience for yourself.
I'm by no means a hardcore Sonic fan. I very loosely enjoy the franchise, but this game is stellar to the point where all of the Sonic games that I've played before, I've never bothered to do any of the special stages or even try to find the rings and get the emeralds. But this one, I've started to get some emeralds, Dan.
You said rings, guys.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Well, giant rings. The other ones are coins.
Yeah, but you could have said giant coin.
No, it's clearly ring because he jumps through it. He jumps.
Yeah, the other ones have holes in them, so they're rings too.
No, but he doesn't jump through them, so they're coins.
You do jump through them quite often.
No, he jumps to collect them.
How are you finding the special stages anyway?
Pure dumb luck.
Yeah, they're quite tricky to master.
I don't. The ones through the giant coins, where you have to chase the UFO.
I ain't rising to it.
Yeah, I waited for you.
I know you did.
Those ones are fine. It's the collect the blue spheres. I've never gotten a perfect on there yet.
So
If you'd played it when you were younger, Eric, you would be bossy.
No, shut up.
Yeah, some of them are quite tricky, but some of them are very easy.
I didn't know that you could jump over things for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Do you even play games? Like,
No, I
first
just
thing
sit and
do when I play a
drool.
game is check what all the buttons do.
Well,
Do
not
I
in
have
the
to
special
hold the controller?
So the first special stage with those spheres, it's like, collect the blue spheres. The first time I'm in there, I immediately turn into a red sphere and lose.
Good.
Immediate. First thing I did was lose.
Did you
Good
learn a lesson?
effort, Peterson.
I did learn a lesson. Not
That's
turn
good.
into the red spheres immediately. I waited at least 3 or 4 seconds the next time before getting a red sphere.
It is very easy to get into the special state, the bonus stages like them this time though, because you only need 25 coins.
Oh, I thought it was 50.
No, it's 25. It used to be 50 on the old ones.
Oh.
But those were the giant ring stages on Sonic 3 and Knuckles. They weren't.
So to
The
get the
Star
emeralds
Wars
on the
ones.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles stages in the original game, you had to get 100% to get the emerald.
No, you had to. Well, you had to get all the blue spheres, but you didn't have to get perfect.
I
Although,
have
Dan,
yet to
I
get all the
found
blue
out-
spheres.
You know the unlockables that you get through the blue sphere collecting?
Yeah.
Apparently you don't have to get the gold medallions to...
Yeah, that's only for a
actually unlock
trophy,
it. Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah,
Ooh.
you can just get the silver for the unlockables, apparently.
But Eric isn't going to get any of them.
Nope. I feel like I'm... How far away is Metal Sonic from the end of the game?
Quite far.
Really?
Yeah. There's, 12 zones? 11 zones? 12? Plus an optional final zone if you get all the emeralds.
Have you done that yet, Dan? 'Cause you've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
I
haven't
have. I beat it earlier.
you? Yeah, is it good? Don't ruin it.
It
but
was,
is
it
good?
was
Of
pretty good. It wasn't as good as the
course.
Doomsday from Sonic Knucks, but it was pretty cool.
Oh, S nuts.
Quite difficult, actually.
I'm really struggling to find the giant rings.
They are quite hidden.
I went through like 3 stages last night and found one.
The problem is, with finding the giant rings, because if you're playing it like you're kind of meant to play Sonic, running through as fast as you can, bouncing off things, you're probably not going to find them. You have to kind of slow down a bit and look at walls.
There's one
and see.
in Flying Battery Zone where you can move a spike pit.
It's what, sorry?
You can move one of the spike pits.
Really?
Yeah. So I flew up, landed next to a spike pit as I was trying to run, and he just started pushing it, and then I fell down. There was one right there.
I did not find one in Hydrosity. I can't find them anywhere.
Neither did I.
You said about playing it like you're supposed to, so to speak, going fast and everything. But I mean, the original 2D Sonics, there was always, the fast bits, and then there was always bits of platforming as well. And do you remember back, at Sonic 1, one of the biggest things people complain about is the pacing seems a little bit off. You have Green Hill Zone, and then where you're flying around, going as fast as you can. Then you get to Marble Zone, where it all completely slows down straight away on the second level.
Yeah.
And I feel like Sonic Mania, it has that perfect balance of speed and platforming, but the pacing is almost perfect.
The physics are incredible, what they've done with the... I mean, you guys will notice this more as you get to the final stages where the physics really come into play. Like, Eric, you'll have seen it on Stardust Speedway with all the springs and the way the routes work and things like that. But if you get on the even later levels, it's on a whole nother level. They kind of... Mike, can you remember the special stage of Sonic 3 and Knuckles where you had the sphere things and you could, like, jump up?
Yes.
And then the, like, thing came up to take you, and if you hit it, the special stage ended. They've kind of used those spheres as a new mechanic inside levels on the final zone, and it's so clever.
Awesome.
It's really
I
good.
look forward to it.
And again, that has excellent music.
And with that, that's Sonice the Hedgepig.
I really wanted to be called Sonice the Hedgepig.
It's that image you sent me of the hand-drawn Sonic with his legs spinning around. That's Sonice the Hedgepig.
Have you guys ever seen the really stupid fan art of Sonic?
Hello?
No? Basically, there's a really strange community around Sonic of people who do fan art. Now, here's the thing. Go to Google, type in your first name, and then put the Hedgehog, and see what comes up.
Oh, dear. That's really
good,
bad. Right? Yeah, there's some...
Hey, I look pretty good in this.
Me too, man.
Age 13, weight 105 pounds. Height, spelled wrong, 5 foot, 5.5 inches. Thank you. Skills, bow, guitar, and drums.
Now that you're done with that, Google Cold Steel the Hedgehog.
Cold Steel?
Cold Steel the Hedgehog.
All one word.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I got a boyfriend.
There's a lot to read there, Dan.
Oh my god, this is dark.
Likes hurting people being badass. Motorcycles, 9 Inch Nails, the band.
Dislikes niceness, happiness, and Levi's. Kevin from school, fuck you, Kevin.
Stop showing everybody my deviant art, you piece of shit.
My dad. And football.
Chaos Kid 663 mega ass faggot.
This is so specific. He usually wears white gloves, but if he is not going outside, he takes them off.
Ooh.
What?
Can't get dirty.
So,
Oh my god.
I think I'm not sure, but I think the Mirage Saloon boss on Sonic Mania is actually you end up fighting fan art characters.
I did wonder who they were.
I think they're fan art characters, but I'm not sure.
So, have you gentlemen ever heard of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes, I have.
Oh man, Eric, if you haven't, you need to see this.
They keep doing it on the official Twitter and Sega's YouTube and stuff because they have a lot of fun with that. That is a lot of fun. You should check it out.
Here, I'll send you the the
Please
first
do.
link. I've been posting a bunch of stuff here for y'all.
Oh, yeah, I'll click on that later.
So good.
Sonic.
Sonic. Oh, I've seen that art, yeah.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
So we should get on to the reason why Dancy Gilbert is here. Does anybody know why he's
To
here?
sing songs about his people.
To tell the tale of your history. Dan is joining us through the wonders of Patreon, which if you have not done so, you can support us by more than just allowing us into your life. Patreon.com/Factory Sealed. We had a reward where you can donate and then pick a game and join us on the show. And Dan has chosen to have us replay Link's Awakening because we haven't played it in 130 episodes.
No, I didn't.
Dancy Gilbert!
I didn't even know there were more episodes.
We
You
just
know, Mike.
started a podcast and randomly started at episode 132.
That's the Factory Sealed way.
Yes!
Yours.
Wasn't it just you and Jess?
Me, Jess, and Aaron.
No, I think you said before that it was just you and Jess on it, wasn't it? There was no Aaron. On the Link's Awakening episode, specifically.
Yeah, Aaron didn't show up to a lot of them.
That's not an understatement.
He wasn't around much.
Just like our good old Tombo.
Now I'm right here.
Oh yeah, of course.
Poor Tom. We miss Tom.
What is this?
Porn.
Sick.
Excellent.
It's that gotta go fast Sonic thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why it didn't upload properly. I'll see if I can find a better one. But anyways, yes, Dan, thank you for your support on Patreon.
You're welcome.
You are more than welcome.
Thank you very much.
It keeps the show somewhat going. But here we are, replaying Link's Awakening, which I've made it quite apparent is probably my favorite Zelda of all time.
Good.
I
And-
100% agree.
And for very good reasons that we will get into. So, who wants to cover the necessary details of this game?
Dancy Gilbert. Dancy Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Dan!
There's that gotta go fast.
Oh yes, it's loaded.
Oh, what is this?
There is Sonice the Hedgepig right there.
Oh. Did he lose a leg in the war?
No, you gotta hover over it and watch him run.
Oh my god.
Guys, gotta go faster!
Mustache. Looks like he's got a little pencil stash.
Oh my god. What
Hey,
is shooting out
to be
behind
fair,
him?
to be fair, that's about as good as I can draw. So you know, I'm quite impressed with that.
Well, at least got his, like, everything's moving. Like, it's working.
I want to play that game.
Somebody fan art that.
Oh my gosh.
We'll call it Sonice the Hedgepig.
Such a stupid name. He just gives everybody hugs. Because he's so nice.
I don't want that
you're
hug.
so nice, Mr. Hedgepig.
Like, what is coming out of the back of him?
Quills, because he's a porcupine.
He's gonna run out soon. I've been watching this for like 40 seconds.
I
He's
think
gonna
they're
run
meant to
out.
be speed lines.
Oh,
Or their
Oh,
musical notes.
I thought it was Dookie.
I think it's musical notes because he's singing. Gotta go.
The soundtrack for So Nice Forces is proper that kind of horrible rock as well.
Butt rock.
Butt rock.
just to appease the fan art community, they're actually letting you make your own character in that one.
People are going to mod that and that's going to get weird.
It will be very weird.
Anyway, Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. This week we played the DX version of it, which was for the Game Boy Color.
Does that stand for Dirty Xylophone?
No.
No. Digital X-ray.
Demonic X-ray.
Oh, I thought it was damn xylophone.
Damn xylophone. Shut that thing up. Link's Awakening proper came out in 1993. The DX version came out in 98.
Wow, that's quite a long time after, that is.
The
Same year
main
Ocarina came out.
difference being it was in color.
Very nice it looks too.
And it has another dungeon where you
We
can
should settle this debate right now.
Yeah, where you can either make the right choice or the wrong choice.
It's correct.
But I think we should
Hashtag
get
Team Red Tunic.
Yeah, I think we should let's save that for when we get to that part of the game.
All right.
Because then we can just build up the anticipation for Dan being wrong.
Yeah, Dan.
No, I would have said Denzi Gilbert.
Oh.
Yeah, see? Get it. This is a little bit of an interesting game because it's not your typical Zelda game in the least bit. It doesn't follow a lot of the same conventions. It had an interesting start in life. The original plan for the Zelda on the Game Boy was to bring a port of A Link to the Past to handhelds.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of just fell by the wayside. So technically, Link's Awakening started as an unsanctioned after-hours project for members of the Link to the Past team. So once they were done with work for the day, they would move on and start piecing this game together. And the main programmer of this game just wanted to create a handheld Zelda game to challenge himself and see what was actually possible on a portable console. So once they got the game to a place where that they felt it was playable and enough to show, they pitched it, and here we are.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
You know your shit, son.
So it didn't follow the typical meticulous development cycle, and because it was made out of it was made from the people that did A Link to the Past. It was basically a club of people that love Zelda that got together to make this game, and since they were kind of guiding themselves through the development process, it took on a different feeling than a main core entry Zelda game, and it definitely has that feel. Anybody who
It's got the kind of same vibe as Sonice the Hedgepig, doesn't it, really?
yeah,
You could argue that it kind of started off as a fan-made game.
there you go.
Call it one time.
And it feels that too, because everyone who really likes Link's Awakening says, I like it because it just has this magical feel to it. When people are allowed to create something on their own and they don't have someone breathing down their neck, they generally tend to put more time and care and effort into it and pay more attention to the finer details because it's something that they're creating more for themselves than for somebody else. And this game, I feel,
have any
has
of you
that.
guys ever played Streets of Rage Remake?
Oh, yeah.
It was a fan-made game which got basically complete retooling of Streets of Rage, just like Sonic Mania in a way, but Sega actually pulled it just as it got done, but I managed to grab it before it was done, and it had branching paths, loads of levels, loads of characters, loads of unlocks, absolutely fantastically well done. So I'm kind of hoping they do that too now.
I would be all over that.
I would be all over that too.
Dan, is that the
Online
game where
co-op?
we were shoving chickens up our hoo-has?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one, yes. But the fan game, well, we can't technically endorse it, is really good.
Yeah.
And if you can find a copy, play it.
Okay.
Moving on, back to Link's Awakening. I just had to say that. I'm sorry.
You threw me off, Dan. I don't know where I was at.
Yeah, Dan.
Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say is that the director, Takashi Tezuka. No, he was the supervisor. Anyway, he said during the development cycle that it felt more like they were making a parody game because of the form that it was taking, as opposed to an actual entry within the true Zelda lore. And they drew a ton of inspiration because at the time, the show Twin Peaks was really popular, which I've never watched.
I tried to. It's hard going.
So all of those references were lost on me, or the inspiration from it. But this was the first Zelda game to strongly focus on story, where you actually had deeper conversation or deeper relationships with NPCs. You actually had dialogue with them, like the scene where Marin is sitting on the beach with Link. You're actually having, I mean, it's a one-sided conversation because Link can't talk, but there's story and thoughts and feelings and emotions and expressed through dialogue. And I believe this is the first appearance of the owl.
Oh, fuck that.
That is correct.
Because he then appears later in the Ocarina of Time and just ruins the pacing of that game.
Yep, he does.
Would you like me to repeat that?
No! I pressed yes, goddammit!
Third time in a row, you'd think I'd learn.
That literally happens every time.
Well, because you sit and you mash the button to think it's going faster, and you're like, oh, shit!
The positioning of this game on the Hyrule timeline is pretty interesting, too.
Where is it?
So it's in the branch after Link falls to Ganon following the events of Ocarina of Time. And it's right in the middle after Oracle of Ages and Seasons where Ganon is revived. And then right before Zelda 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that's the timeline for this franchise is just wild.
Oh, yeah.
Where does Breath of the Wild lie?
See, that's an interesting question, because when that game came out, people were like, well, it could go in like 4 different spots on the timeline. There was a lot of confusion about where it could fall, but I think the consensus is that it happens right around Ocarina of Time. Like, not right around, but like 100 years before.
Yeah, I think it has to be because there's an homage in that game to the Temple of Time.
Right.
So it has
Listening
to be
you guys
pre-Ocarina of
talk
Time.
About this timeline. Now, I know bits and bobs about it. I understand what it is you're talking about, but I don't know it in depth.
I haven't show it.
Here, I got a link to it.
Don't try and explain the entire thing because that could take hours. But
mine has.
My
pictures,
question is
Mike.
because looking at this, I can do pictures. Looking at this, like, did they set off with the idea of the timeline, or did they kind of think about it afterwards? Because
it was definitely after.
Yeah, well, because
it was an afterthought.
Miyazaki started creating Zelda as a way for him to create a game that would encompass his childhood, where he would be out on his family's land exploring, and he wanted to create a game that felt like that. Mm-hmm. And I think after that, things started to piece together where he's like, okay, we have this hero of time who every so often when there's a major world event, this hero of time arises. And is that reincarnation, or is it just happen to be a guy named Link rises to the occasion? Who knows?
I thought his name was Tom.
It is.
I am.
But no, the only reason I'm asking is because, you know,
Tom to the past. Tom's
from
awakening.
what I do know of the timeline, yeah, it definitely felt like an afterthought. But I do like the idea of the branching bit where in Ocarina he's successful and he isn't successful and all that. I have always liked that idea.
If you look at, I'm posting the one with pictures now, but on the end of this timeline, it's Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. And then everything comes before that. So
I didn't realize Skyward Sword was considered to be first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Which I still haven't played. What, Mike?
And it kind of, Skyward Sword being first, you know, if you think about it, it does make sense because the people, I can't remember the name of the place, Skyloft, isn't it? Up in Skyloft, you know, they haven't discovered Hyrule properly beneath the clouds yet, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I need to get that game.
So
yeah,
good.
me too.
So good.
I think I'll probably just buy it for the Wii U, so I don't have to hook up the old Wii and waggle the
Mike,
remote.
shut up. That game is fantastic.
It's good. It's good. I just it felt like a chore to finish. Absolute chore.
So did Twilight Princess.
See, I didn't feel that with Twilight Princess. I didn't think this was.
I enjoyed both of them. I thought they were both great.
I don't know.
See, that's how I, as everybody knows, I said Link to the Past was shite. It wasn't quite shite. But I generally prefer 3D Zelda to 2D Zelda.
See, and I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah.
The 2Ds are just better. And in terms of 2D Zeldas, this one is hands down the best. It might be the best Zelda, period.
This was my first 2D Zelda.
Really?
Yeah, it was my first. I've played all of the 3D ones apart from Majora's Mask, and I haven't played Breath of the Wild yet. And this was my first 2D Zelda, and you know I've not had any experience of them whatsoever. I've seen footage and everything like that, and you know I haven't played enough 2D Zeldas now to decide which I prefer, if I had to choose 3D or not. But I really enjoyed this. I really
So
enjoyed this.
if you liked this, most people start 2D Zeldas with A Link to the Past, which it's
I'm
great.
playing when I get my mini SNES. So
it's really good. I prefer this. Then I love Minish Cap.
Minish Cap was excellent.
That game was it was so far off the nipples. You're getting close to another chest. Then Link Between Worlds is stellar. The verdict is still out on Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
Oh, they're so good.
They are really good. Mike, if you liked this game, it's essentially this same style of game. It just
is that the ones where the game's split and you get a code at the end of completing one,
Yeah.
you go into the other one, it affects the other game.
and one is more action based and one is more puzzle based.
Yes.
I always forget which one's
We're
which.
going to have to try them at some point.
Oracle of Ages is the action-based. Seasons is the puzzle-based.
They're super long too.
They are.
You guys
Longer
like
than
Wind
this.
Waker?
I loved Wind
Oh,
Waker.
yeah.
Except the last 3 hours of the game.
It was better on the remaster.
Well, yeah, because
That's the one I played.
they
Yeah,
gave you
I
the
know.
ability to move faster, didn't they?
Yeah, you get
Oh,
the
no,
sail, don't you?
No, they redid the ending bit where you didn't have to sail all over the world and randomly drop your anchor to find shit.
Yes, they did. It was a lot better.
Anyway, back to Link's Awakening here. This game, unlike every other Zelda game, does not take place in Hyrule proper. It takes place on an island, Koholint Island, which is far different from Hyrule, which is also perhaps a reason why so many references from other Nintendo games make it into this, which we can get to later. But the game starts with Link on a boat in the middle of a storm. Boat crashes. Link wakes up on the shore of an island and is taken to Marin's house. And that's where we start.
He's right.
I am right.
He's right. He knows his stuff.
You're given a shield, has your name on it.
Apparently, Link got a label maker for last Christmas
He could have carved it in.
and got wild with it.
It's a wooden shield, dude.
I just like the idea of he's got, like, you know, those little label maker
Yeah.
one where it's like they're black and white. I just like the idea of he's just got one of those near the handle. Just this Link on it.
Of course, there's only room for about 6 characters, though.
This is the part of the game that I know I mentioned this before, but like in Link to the Past, where I got inexplicably stuck in a spot with a giant arrow on the ground, I have very fond memories of being stuck for hours at this point of the game the first time I played it. Because you have to go to the beach to find your sword. And I could get to the sword, but I didn't know how to get past that goddamn sea urchin. Remember you?
Use the shield.
Yeah, I didn't know that as a kid.
That's okay.
And
I
then,
forgive you.
Then when I figured it out, I'm never telling anyone about this ever.
Your darkest secret has just been revealed.
My biggest foible in life.
You're so dumb.
I am dumb. Yeah, and then you go down, you get the sword, meet the owl.
I know.
And you just believe what he says.
Hell yeah, you believe what he says.
Oh, talking owl, you gotta trust him.
I've got notes, guys. Pages.
I do too.
Pages of notes.
Oh, God.
I took meticulous notes on each cave or dungeon. Oh, man. So
This
good.
is gonna be a long show.
So good. I'm going to read it line by line.
Excellent.
It's written in shorthand, so it might not make sense.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. I don't know. How do we want to cover this? What's the consensus? Do we want to go through, or do we just kind of want to chat?
Dan C. Gilbert must decide.
It's your show, Dan. How do you want to do this?
I'd like to do a little bit of both. There's a lot of interesting bits to this game, and a lot of what I focused on this time was really actively listening to the music and trying to pick it apart. I don't know, just whatever. We find a bunch of people on this island, and they're all like, "We don't know anything. This is an island.
It's
We've
paradise.
always been on this
It's a
island."
paradise
Yeah.
island. Yeah.
It's weird when you get your sword and you head back towards the main city. One of the first things I did was talk to the two kids passing ball outside the library, and they're like, "Yeah, life is good here. There's some weird stuff, but we don't know anything. We're just kids." And it's like, okay, well, do you actually not know? Are you hiding something?
I'm gonna cut you.
I was afraid.
Have you
Don't
seen
you
the
know
sword?
who I am?
You fucking slag. I'm Tom.
This is my island, Bunny Pickering Island. You slag.
Stop like bare knuckle catch. Come on.
So we should probably talk about the whole point of the island, though. You very quickly discover that at the top of the mountain there sits an egg, and inside the egg is the windfish, who is asleep.
I expected Dan to read it as Windfish.
You expected
As
what,
what?
Mike?
I expected Dan to read it as Windfish.
Yeah, the windfish. What's the windfish?
Inside an erg.
Yeah, and the windfish is sleeping.
It's the white whale.
Yeah,
Why is it in an egg?
I don't know, because he's a fish. But fish
But
don't
he's a
come out of
whale.
eggs.
So is it
that.
giant caviar?
Well, he
my
looks like he's
God.
in a bird egg, but he's a poultry fish. So yes, maybe he was born of a chicken, crossbred with a whale. Therefore,
Or a
he's
wh-
in the
or a-
hard shell
A whale
egg.
fucked a chicken. Is that what you're saying?
and then when fully
Yeah.
grown, sealed within a multicolored spotted egg to have a nap.
And was born wearing jean shorts.
Yes.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Right.
The whole point that you're initially led to believe in this game is to awaken the windfish. And you
It's the
set
only
off.
way off the island.
Yep.
Shouldn't it be called the Windfish's Awakening?
Whatever.
No,
Dan.
Dan, stop. No. You're going to ruin the ending, and we're not even at the end yet.
God.
I mean, this is a good point. The game's called Link's Awakening. The
Because
first
we'll
moments of the game.
explain it.
Wait.
Okay.
Link,
Oh my
Link,
God,
hang
we'll
on, wait.
explain it.
The very beginning of the game, Link wakes up in a bed. That's it, done. It's Link waking up.
Game over! Thank you for playing!
Listen, Mike, you just go away and watch Inception. You come back and then talk to us about this game, and then you'll understand. All right?
Dempsey
seen
Gilbert.
Inception.
They're going to try to shit on the ending of this game. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw it back at them.
I
I am not
refuse.
going to shit on it. I am very.
I've got
I'm
my
happy
mirror.
to
I've
hear
got my
everything you
mirror
say.
shield ready for that shit, so it's coming straight back at you.
It doesn't deflect. It's just gonna slide off.
Yeah, it's just going to...
Will deflect.
So one of my favorite parts or areas in this game is the mysterious woods where you head right after you get your sword. And I guess when I was playing it on the original Brit Game Boy, when everything was, two colors, I didn't really get the intensity of it except through the music. It's kind of like a thuggish
yeah.
kind of music traveling through that, but like you enter these woods and everything just gets darker. And you find the moblins that, to me, just look like bulldogs for all of my childhood. I'm like, I'm going to go kill some damn bulldogs, these motherfucking dogs. You make your way through and you hit your first puzzle, and you're like, whoa, there's this single mushroom growing on the entire island. What am I going to do with that? And then naturally you bring it to a witch doctor, right?
Yes.
And what does this witch doctor do? She brews you up or cooks down some sweet, sweet magic powder.
I told the witch doctor I was in love with you.
You're using the wrong lyrics,
Yeah,
Mike.
come on, Mike.
Come on. Dun 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 dun. See Gilbert.
Dancey Gilbert, dancey Gilbert.
Dancey Gilbert, Dancey Gilbert.
So, what did you try sprinkling the magic powder on to figure this out, Dan? I'm interested.
Oh yeah, because
Next part of the
I
puzzle.
was using. I'll just admit right now, I used to guide all the way through.
oh,
so
Oh, yeah.
done.
I needed to finish it.
That's fair. But come on, Dan.
It is a lengthy game. It's if you play it on its own right and you haven't played it before, it's probably 14 hours long.
Well, what I wanted to do, right, is make sure I didn't miss any secrets. So that's what I was using the guide for. And when I went into a dungeon, I was trying not to use the guide.
Mm-hmm.
So
To be fair,
I
the
didn't want to miss any secret items or anything like that.
the first
Right.
3 or so dungeons can be done in under 5 minutes
Correct.
with getting everything.
If you know what you're doing.
No, even still, they're really not long. It's dungeons 5+ where things take a little bit longer.
I was a bit concerned about this at first. This being my first 2D Zelda, and those first 3 dungeons were really, an absolute piece of piss. I was concerned that was the way the game was going to be all the way through. Like they were going to be that short.
No, they just had to
Yeah.
ease you in.
Yeah.
So, I was kind of confused about how, in the course of leaving the beach with your sword to getting the magic powder, somehow Terran decides he's going to, trip some balls and, turn into this Tanuki.
Well, no, he goes to the forest and he eats that mushroom.
So the poison is also the antidote?
Yes. I'm pretty sure that's what it
messed
is. Doesn't he say he found something to eat?
Oh, yeah. But, oh my... Alright. It's just weird.
Well, think of it as a vaccine. You have to take part of the actual disease to create the vaccine.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not how poison works.
Well, it wasn't poisoned. I don't know. But yeah, he's tripping balls in the woods. And so this is where you start to see other Nintendo game references, because he's clearly a Tanuki. Clearly.
Yeah.
I was so surprised by that, the Nintendo game references.
And then when you give him some cocaine and he sniffs it, he pops back to reality. And he looks just like Mario.
Oh, yeah, he's Cousin Mario.
Yeah, he is Mario.
It's me, a Mario.
A Marin!
Rack that shit up.
Catalana for me!
Hey, Link, I'm a tripping the balls.
Why am I in your game?
You've gone Jamaican again.
I can't help it. Maybe the Jamaicans are descendants of the Italian.
Oh, well, go on.
Oh, what to go on? Yeah, no, but see, that's the difference. Is Italian is high pitched, Jamaican is wagwan. Wagwan.
My brethren.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
he knows his stuff, him.
See, come on. Good job.
I've listened to every episode. Mike.
Good job. See, there he goes.
I feel like I'm being picked on today.
Oh,
That means you. That means you're truly part of the show.
Yeah.
But no, this
Finally
first,
settled in.
This first puzzle, Mike, did you use a guide or did you genuinely try to figure this out?
I think this basically how I did it. I did the first half completely by myself. The third quarter, I was doing the dungeons by myself, but I was using a guide for the overworld just because obviously sometimes you have to find out where you're going. And then the last quarter, just because I had to get through the game, I used a guide fully. So
Yeah.
for the first half, completely by myself.
That's good.
Good.
I can respect that. We are on a little bit of a timetable to finish these.
But no, the magic dust. What was your question about the magic dust? What did we use it on?
What tipped you off to this is what you had to do?
Because he says something about it, doesn't he? When you first speak to the Tanuki, he says something about magic dust. I'm sure he does.
I think he
I
does,
just
yeah.
must not have asked him because I just always remembered that you just do it. So I just run up and sprinkle him with some cocaine.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he mentions it. He mentions something about magic dust, and then obviously when you find the mushroom and go, but simple as that, really. I asked him.
Then you... Oh, well, that's nice of you. Instead of just throwing cocaine at him.
So, interesting fact about, side note, that we're in the Lost Wood. Which is kind of a staple within
Mysterious
Zelda
woods,
games
actually.
these days.
Yeah, the mysterious woods.
Well, it still serves as technically the Lost Wood,
Right.
because if you try to walk past the Tanuki, it just starts looping you back through. So it has that same core concept of the Zelda Lost Wood. Does anybody know in which game the Lost Wood originated? Not Zelda?
Battletoads.
Wrong.
Like, not Zelda franchise?
Yeah, not Zelda.
Sonice the
franchise.
Hedgepig.
And no.
Kirby.
No.
Barbie Supermodel.
It has to do with
My favourite.
Batman and Robin.
Oh, yeah. Good guy.
Hello Kitty on the Wii.
No. That came out like 20 years after.
Just Dance.
Yes.
World of Warcraft.
There's a weird timeline in Zelda.
It's true.
Hello Kitty could have been before this in the timeline.
It actually is in reference to one of the worlds in Super Mario World.
Really?
The
Oh,
world.
the illusion.
Yeah.
The Force of Illusion.
Super Mario World came out in 1990. This game came out in 93. And then after that, they became renamed the Lost Wood and started to become a staple. But that's where it came from, in Super Mario World.
All right.
Fact for you and your brains.
I wasn't listening, what?
Okay, so you throw this cocaine, you go up a screen,
You come in and
and
you
you
just...
get
Woo!
and you get the Tail Cave key.
Key.
Is there a strong possibility that maybe Link inhaled some magic powder and for the rest of the game he's just tripping?
I feel like that's why this game lasts so long. He's like just asleep all this time.
Yeah, he's in a drug-induced coma.
That's it. He went on a hell of a bender, and
He's just trying to sleep it off.
yeah. So
And then he'll have his awakening. You see, it all comes full circle.
I always imagine Link with this pouch of powder being super fancy when he sprinkles it everywhere. Ooh,
oh yeah,
glitter,
he's just Gilberting while he skips.
sprinkles.
just humming the theme tune as he goes.
I'm so fancy.
Da, 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 da.
Skipping around.
Some dust for you. Some dust for you.
A little for me.
Oh yeah.
Time for some butt rock.
All right, so we make our way to Dungeon 1.
Dan, we get sidetracked real easily.
That's okay.
I like how
I'm
Dan
totally
C.
okay
Gilbert's
with
trying to claw it back.
I'm shirking the
fine.
host
Dan C.
duties.
Gilbert, just go with it.
So you make your way to Dungeon 1, and you are immediately the music for this dungeon sets like the tone for the entire game. 'Cause, like the overworld theme is just so peppy in most of the areas, and then you get in this dungeon and it's like, I don't want to get too far into the music of it because I don't want to bore everyone to tears, but it starts using what's called a tritone, which are two of the most disgusting notes that you can play together at the same time, and it just sets like this really dismal mood for completing this dungeon and fighting all these monsters. But there's key items to every dungeon, just like in all the other Zelda games. You have your dungeon map, you have your compass, which in this game, I think it's just the DX version. There's a tone that plays every time you walk into a room with a key.
No, it's the regular room, or it's the regular game too. Has that?
Is it? Okay. Well, I'm already doing poor. That's okay.
It's okay. It wouldn't be Factory Seal if everything was purely accurate.
That's probably true. So there's not a lot of puzzles in this dungeon. It's a really good intro dungeon.
What I don't like about these items, so in every item there's, did you list them? There's the compass, there's the map.
There's the beak, the stone beak.
Which in the regular version was a stone tablet, not a stone beak.
Right.
Because I don't know why they switched
slab?
it. Yeah, it was
Was it
just
the
a
stone
stone slab.
Yeah.
I wonder if they switched it to tie more references into the owl being kind of your guardian through the game.
I'm sure.
But the thing I don't like is every time you find them in the subsequent dungeons, I can understand the first dungeon. You open that treasure chest for the compass, and it goes, "Congratulations, you got a compass. This, when you walk into a room, will tell you that there's a treasure chest in the room." Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that was really annoying.
Yep.
But they do that all the time. Like the items that you can pick up, there's a little Triforce, isn't there? And then there's like a little acorn thing to improve your defense or attack. And every single time you pick one of those up, you get the really erratic music, but also you have to go through all the text every single time as well.
Also, when you run in front of like a rock that you can't pick up, it's like,
lift.
oh, this is too heavy. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Happens a lot.
I was emulating this on my DS, and if I hold the L button down,
Sinner.
it just... I know, I'm sorry. If you hold the L button down, it makes the game double speed, and I use that
that's
a
good.
lot on this game. Just
Sinner.
to get through this text.
Repent.
Yeah.
You shall be.
The power of Link compels you!
I emulated on a Game Boy emulator, which also has a speed function, but when you press it, it goes up to about 1500%, and it is impossible to control anything.
Can't you go to the settings and tone it down?
I probably, but I couldn't be bothered. I just played it normally. And then you just press it once, and then next thing you know, we're about 3 screens to the right.
So the other
You've completed the game.
Yeah.
The other 2 items you can get in the dungeons are the small keys and the nightmare key, which I think is such a cool name because it's not just a boss key. It literally tells you from the get-go, hey, you're about to fight a nightmare. Guess what? You might be asleep.
Yeah. Well, and
Let's just throw that at you.
Well, it kind of to dive a little bit into the story too. Are these Link's nightmares or are they the Windfish's nightmares? Because we don't know this part of the story yet, so let's not get to that.
Right.
Interesting fact about the levels, though. Another interesting fact: most of them create the level is shaped exactly what the name is. Like the tail, when you look at the map pulled out, looks like a tail.
Oh, wow. That makes a lot of sense.
The bottle looks like a bottle.
Really?
I have a lot of
spot
things
that.
to say about that genie when we get there.
About what?
The genie when we get there. I have a lot of things to say about him.
Oh yeah.
So you get your first main item in this dungeon, the Rock's Feather, which I think is probably one of my favorite items in the history of Zelda. It's just so cool that, you know, you go from Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 where you're just walking around. I mean, Zelda 2 you can jump, but in this you're like, oh man, I can jump over a pit? I don't have to walk around anymore? This is great.
It's amazing. Like, Zelda is a series where you can't jump very often. And it's just nice to have that facility. Like, I use that all the time.
Oh yeah, it was always in my B slot.
The thing... well, it's getting on more later, but I know it's a bit of a slog having to swap items all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's more just... that's a limitation of the system.
I know, but it's like you'll get in a room and there's a rock to pick up, and then you need to jump over a pit, and then you need Pegasus boots with you. We'll get into it.
Yeah. So there's not much else to this dungeon, really. You get to the end, and the first boss nightmare is the Moldorm, which has appeared in plenty of other games.
Well, I think we did miss one thing, though.
Uh-oh.
This game has 2D side-scrolling bits.
Yes, it
Oh,
does.
the dungeons.
Which this first dungeon brings in more references to other Nintendo games, i.e. the Goombas. Clearly Goombas. Where if you jump on them in traditional Mario fashion, you get a heart every time.
Mm-hmm.
I just always killed them with the sword, so I didn't.
And I was always low on health. That's why I took the blue tunic.
Spoilers.
Ah, he said it.
God, I'm so upset about that, Dan.
Oh, shut
God.
up, Dancy Gilbert.
So upset.
Oh, talk about wasted time. Played this fantastic game and then just turned it into garbage. Anyway, first boss was
Rolling Bones.
roll.
That little half monkey rabbit thing that pushes the spike pillar.
Oh,
Oh,
that's the
that's
first
bastard.
mini boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, so each level has a mid boss and a main boss.
Yeah.
Where you got to jump over the roller and then attack him and then back and forth a few times. The
Yeah.
mini bosses all create a portal from the beginning to the center or to that room, and then onward and upward.
Yeah.
The boss, what was his? I don't know his name.
The Moldorm.
Moldorm, where he's a snake with a tail that you can hit, but if you get knocked off, then you have to backtrack, back out, and then back in and start the fight over.
Yeah, but the staircase is right outside his room, so it's not awful, but just don't be a noob and get knocked off.
But you do have to
You
start
do
the
it.
entire fight over.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's like 4 hits or 5, something like that.
Something like that. I thought it was interesting in this dungeon too that the owl actually pops in. Oh wait, no, the owl is the stone tablet we talked about. Sorry, I just had a note that the owl helps you with the puzzles. Yeah. Then you get your first wind instrument, or your first instrument. So you have to collect 8 instruments that you can then go play for the windfish to wake him up.
I just imagined Link just carrying around an entire orchestra with him. As he goes.
Like one of those guys that has the drum on his back and the cymbals, and he's got shit on his feet. He's just a one-man walking band.
The harmonica and the
One-man
guitar.
band.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So that kind of eases you gently into the game, and then shit starts to get real after this. Because as soon as you walk back,
foreplay, basically.
oh yeah, it just kind of tickles you, gives you a soft little kiss on the tip of the lips.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
You thought I was going somewhere else, didn't you?
I
Dirty,
thought we were going for tip of the nips.
dirty bastards. Because as soon as you walk back into town, those 2 little boys come running up to you and saying, "Hey,
The dog's gone.
the dog is gone. Miss Bow Wow, I think her name is."
Oh, Madam Meow Meow.
Oh, Madam Meow Meow, that's right. And Bow Wow is the dog that's stolen.
Chain Chomp. Sorry.
Yeah, clearly. Not the rapper Bow Wow.
Ugh.
Formerly known as Lil Bow Wow. And you have
Not good.
to go find Bow Wow, who is in a cave, which kind of serves as a mini dungeon.
Yeah.
Does
It's
it
like
not?
4 rooms.
Yeah. But after that, you get to walk around with Chain Chomp, eating shit.
You should just keep that thing for the entire game, really. Makes life a lot easier.
There's some fun stuff you can do with Bow Wow after the second dungeon, which is the Bottle Grotto,
Yeah, I
Which-
saw this, but I couldn't be bothered.
which is shaped like a bottle. If you look at the map, Dan. Hence the name.
Like you
Hence the
said-
name
you said
Bottle
before.
Grotto.
I actually listened to you.
Did you? What'd you think?
I think you're an idiot.
Oh, okay. Well then, par for the course. Bottle Grotto. Thoughts?
It's shaped like a bottle.
Shut up.
Again, it wasn't too challenging. It was still dungeon foreplay, really. It's just even like the bosses weren't particularly.
Did you just say dungeon foreplay?
Yeah,
We covered it, and
easy
that's how I
win.
got tip of the
We've
lips kiss.
Just literally had a conversation about it, Danny. Are you sure you're listening?
No.
But no, I do feel the first couple of dungeon lists that there just wasn't very much to note at all. Like, I have a feeling that Dancy Gilbert is going to disagree.
Did Mike go full robotic there?
He did go full
Yeah, he
robot,
did.
yes.
Hello.
Yeah, Michael, have
you
you
hear me?
touched your Ethernet cable?
No, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Hello, cool. I said that the first couple of dungeons in this probably, there's not that much to note, but I'm guessing you and Dancy Gilbert may pull some facts up about these and tell me otherwise.
About what?
Was that English?
I didn't understand that sentence.
Have I gone again?
No, I understood you. I didn't.
Michael would like to know. Basically, Mike thinks that the dungeons there's not much to them. They're
The
quite
first
simple.
two, first
and he
couple.
thinks that you guys will have hidden knowledge.
No, they're just to get you turned on for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the when people actually listen to this, obviously they'll be able to hear everything I've said about 3 times, and it's going to be really lackluster.
Yes.
But no, I don't have many thoughts on the first couple of dungeons at all, because I just did feel like there just wasn't much to note at all. The boss was quite interesting in the Bottle Grow. The genie.
That genie's a drunk, okay?
Oh yeah.
Like, literally the first thing he says is like, "You can't hurt me as long as I have my magic bottle." And it's like,
Well, yeah, because drunk
is there
people don't feel
alcohol
pain.
in there? That's it. That's exactly what I thought.
Plus, he's cross-eyed, which is just a giveaway.
But this is like the first boss that really requires you to utilize the item you got in the dungeon to complete it. Tail Cave didn't really need the Rock's Feather to be Moldorm, but in this, like, you have to smash that bottle so you can get him into AA, so you can then actually be his friend.
And then beat the shit out of him to get him out of his drunken stupor.
That's it.
You just slash him to
jackass,
pieces with your
quit
sword,
drinking.
that'll sort him out.
So
Yes, it's the
you
strength
get the-
bracelet in this one, isn't it?
Yes, the power bracelet.
This one also introduces the switches, the orange-blue switches throughout the dungeons. That towards the end of the game, you're hitting a switch to change stuff that you see half an hour later in the dungeon. So these start to play a pretty important role.
Yep.
Also, lighting the fires with your cocaine powder to illuminate the rooms and guide your way. But yeah, this one, not a whole lot to it. You have to pick him up, throw him against the wall, then attack him. There's also another Zelda reference in here with the Shy Guy reference. The what are they called?
Mario.
The what did I say? Zelda?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. Mario reference. They are mask mimics.
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure out how to beat that.
Yeah, you got to hold your sword out.
Oh,
Look at my sword.
you had the cocaine powder? So fabulous.
Ooh, one thing I do remember from this dungeon.
Oh, did you?
I think I know what
Stumped
you're going
me
to
for a
say
little
because I was
while.
just going to say it. Go ahead.
Is it the when you have to go into that room and you have to kill the enemies in a certain order?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
that-
boss key.
That's-
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there is one of the tablets tells you something that got lost in translation from the Japanese to the English version and basically tells you nothing on how to beat that room.
Oh no, it made sense. I just didn't pay attention to it. Then I went back and looked at the owl again because I was lost for a little while and just was trying everything and read the owl and then realised that it said about it doesn't. I mean, I didn't know the names of the enemies at the time because there's a Stalfos in there, a Pole's voice, and a Keys.
Yep.
And
But
I
you
knew
have
the
to-
bat. I knew the bat was the Keys,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what the other two were. But it says that one of them is trapped, so you have to kill the entrapped whatever it was. I can't remember what order it was now. I did figure it out finally, but that stumped me for a little while.
I wonder if they fixed it for the DS version, the DX version, because I do remember. I can't remember the exact instance of it, but in the original, the room made no sense because there was no way for you to actually know that. So I wonder if they did fix it. I'll see if I can find that. I don't want to waste too much time sitting on it. But yeah, you have to beat the rabbit, the bat, the Stalfos in that order, and then it opens it up.
But yeah, that stumped me for a little while. That.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing that we haven't mentioned yet, and like I guess you can start this when you get back to Mabe Village, but this is the first Zelda game to introduce the trading sequence.
No, wait a minute. Before you get to that, I wanted to ask you, do you guys call it Mabe or Maybe? Because Maybe has a reference to my opinion on the game.
Mib.
I said maybe.
Ooh.
It's maybe. I think we're split on this. All right, we'll come back to that later. The trading quest, yes, this is huge, and one thing I love about this game.
Yeah.
You want to cover that? The first part of it?
Sure. The first step in this trading sequence is with this game that you play with the crane, which is really annoying because I remember being younger and not understanding how it worked, knowing that you had to hold down the button until you wanted to get it over. But part of this game is a Yoshi doll that you can just find in the middle, and you acquire it, and it's like, okay, what the hell am I going to do with a Yoshi doll now? So you find this woman who's got a baby that won't shut up, and you give this woman the Yoshi doll, and you get a bow.
Can we talk about her husband quickly? The first time you speak to him when you go in there, and he's like, "Oh, hi, I'm such and such. I'm going to get lost in the mountain later, so you'll probably see me there. Bye."
Yep.
Forget this, kid. I'm out of here.
I'm trying to remember how far it goes before we have to go to Key Cavern. Because you trade the bow, you give it the bow to the dog in the house next to Madame Meow Meow. You get a bag of dog food, which I didn't know was a crocodile's favorite dish.
Yeah, which is weird. No.
Really
no.
weird.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So
Yeah.
it goes Yoshi to the baby for the ribbon.
Yeah.
Ribbon to Bow Wow for the dog food. Dog food
Yeah.
to the alligator for bananas.
Yeah, and then you need to give the bananas to some monkeys so they can build a bridge and leave you a stick. And that's
then- Yeah, then that gets you up into the castle because to this point from here, you've gone to the prairie. You've met Richard, who is the prince who used to be in the castle.
who's also from another video game.
He is, and I can't remember what it is.
The frog from whom the bell tolls.
That's right. So he sends you on a quest to get 5 golden leaves from around the castle.
5 gold leaves.
Dancy Gilbert, Dancy Gilbert.
Gilbert, Dancy Gilbert.
And a Dancy Gilbert.
We can do 4-part harmony on this, guys. We can make money. I'm telling you.
We could. It's going to be a thing.
Before you get into the leave quest, did anybody go and see a gentleman called Mad Batter at any point?
Who?
In certain sections, you can go down into a cave where you sprinkle some cocaine into a pot, and then a bat pops out and he upgrades your items.
That comes into play later.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's now. You can
No,
get it
you
now.
can do it now. You're talking about the bomb bag upgrade, right? In the Mysterious
Yes.
Woods? Yeah.
No, 50 units of magic powder.
Yeah, down on
Basically,
the beach.
he's a dealer. You get more cocaine from him.
Yeah, down on
Yeah.
the beach.
And he goes,
Oh.
"You woke me, I'm going to punish you, and you will have to carry more stuff." Then he tells you to take
Yeah.
care and then goes away.
Dude, I'm already collecting all his instruments. I don't think some extra magic powder is going to weigh me down.
Yeah.
Well, he's eventually who you get the boomerang from, too.
Yep.
Spoilers. Most powerful weapon in the game.
I thought that was the frog thing. Oh no, that was a song.
Yeah.
Oh. We'll get to Frogman.
Yeah, so you got to collect these leaves and bring them back to Richard, who will then open up a route under his house to let you into a maze field where you can then go and collect the key.
Now, Dan and Mike, did you get there before you got the shovel?
No.
No, because my guide told me to buy the shovel.
Oh, that's
God,
right.
you're so dumb.
No. When I first visited the shop at the very beginning of the game, because I had a quick look around before going down to get the sword, so I knew the shop was there, and I
Yep.
saw the shovel was in there, and as soon as I had enough rupees for it, I went to get it just in case.
Good.
So, interesting fact. 2 things you can do in the shop. You can steal by walking clockwise around the shopkeeper twice and then walking out the door. But what happens there is as soon as you come back in, he calls you a thief, kills you,
Kills you.
changes the file name to thief, and everybody calls you capitalized thief the rest of the game.
It's pretty great.
Or if you have enough money to purchase the item, as soon as you start talking to him and he starts deducting rupees from your account, you press A, B, start select, and save and quit, when you come back in, you'll have as many rupees as you had when you quit. So if you can do it really quick, you can only lose a few rupees.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I just saved up for it. Plus, I also think Richard does tell you that you should probably have a shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
So you get the key, and you have to go open Key Cavern.
This is where things start to get a little real. Is it not?
I mean, as real as a dream can be.
I mean, this is definitely a cavern that looks like a key. 2 keys, actually.
One of them looks like a bent sword, to be honest.
Yeah, he just poked the tip a little too hard and it bent over.
Or just a lowercase t.
Yeah. This one, you get the Pegasus boots, which it kind of alludes
fast.
to immediately. If you walk into the dungeon and go to the right, there is something that pushes you away. One of those, I don't even know what they're technically called. But it kind of alludes to it immediately. Hey, you're going to eventually get an item that's going to allow you to beat this. And then your first encounter with those green blocks that you can dash through. There is a spot in this game. I don't know if I hit a glitch or something just wasn't functioning. But when you walk through, you've got those. If you go to the left, you've got that really long walkway or the 3 walkways towards. But up towards the staircase where you can go down, there are those blocks that you can change, and there's a treasure chest in the middle of them. When you go downstairs, if you go up 1 room, there's your switch. The switch would never activate for me.
Really?
Never. Regardless of what I hit it with. It made the noise, it did everything. I'd hit it, I'd go back upstairs, nothing.
Must have been a glitch.
Yeah. I don't know what it was.
How do you break games so often, Eric?
It's a skill.
Get good. I like the mini boss in this level, or the mini bosses in this level.
The Dodongo snakes.
Mm-hmm. Couple of bomb snakes, you got to throw bombs into their mouth.
Yeah, didn't like that one.
They poop out fairies.
Well, it's kind of easy to get a bunch of bombs here. But this is the first dungeon, too, where you discover that you can combine your items. Not combine, technically, but you can use them in conjunction with each other to further yourself. So you have big gaps that you have to use your Pegasus boots to jump across larger gaps with Rock's Feather.
That was clever. I like that.
And there's another one later, too. Did anybody actually save it? Well, I think you had to buy the bow and arrow.
Yes.
Did you know you can actually shoot bombs out of your bow and arrow?
Yes. It's super fun.
Ooh, it's sweet.
Still not as good as the boomerang, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, boomerang is OP.
Look at you with your game speak.
My game speak. Let's see. Main boss was the
Slime eyes.
Eye.
Yep.
You got to charge through. This one was a little frustrating.
Which also look like boobs when they stretch out.
Yeah. Getting him to split properly can always be a little frustrating if you don't start dashing into him in just the right spot.
Yeah.
I didn't realise for a while that you had to do that and just kept separating it and then going, nothing's happening. Because like I say, I didn't use the guide for the dungeons mainly, so you know.
Oh, well, look at you, mister. You can also equip Rock's Feather during this boss battle for the second part of it because he'll jump into the air, and if he lands, he stuns you. But if you jump just before he lands, you can avoid being stunned.
Yeah, he killed me the first time doing that.
Oh, what a jerk.
I know,
Maybe
right?
I'm surprised
No, I
your
mean
guide.
you for dying.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm surprised your guide didn't tell you to equip Rock's Feather.
I wasn't
To
reading it
not
at that
not
point.
die. That's part of the guide. Don't die.
It just says
slag.
get good.
Yeah, get good. Let's see. So after this is when they start to really delve a little bit more into the story. I kind of like when you come out of each dungeon. There's a little bit of an ethereal voice that gives you a hint as to where to go next. Like this one, it just says
Right.
waterfall. It's hidden in a waterfall, but the owl sends you to the desert. So you come out and he's like, "Oh, how about you go down there to that Tarna desert?" I'm like, well, no. This thing in my brain, the cocaine told me to go to the waterfall. But then you get to make your trip to Animal Village, and for some reason, I always have really fond memories of making my way to Animal Village. I know there's not a whole lot happening there, but I really like this village. I like the music of it. I like the people that are in there. Its location.
I like that there's animals.
Dude, the bear chef.
Oh, yeah.
What is it, the crocodile that's doing the painting of
Yeah,
the
the
hippo?
French guy. This is my masterpiece.
That
was
Russian.
Damn it.
Now try Jamaican, you'll get French this time.
Yeah. Oui, walk one, my brother. Yeah, see, there's a French Jamaican. I think in order to do a French accent, you have to say oui first. That gets you into the
it's
mindset.
required.
Oh, oui.
The entire state of
this
France
is
will
my
actually
masterpiece.
sue you.
I don't know. We're just really bad at accents all around.
That's okay.
This continues the trading quest, though, too, doesn't it?
It does.
Kind of.
Well, you have to find Taryn first. He's busy, like, sniffing a beehive because he thinks there's more cocaine in there.
You give
And
him
you have
the
to give him a
stick.
stick so he can beat the crap out of it.
I love how you give him a stick and he's literally standing next to some trees. The beehive itself is hanging
They've
from
got
a tree.
round branches. It doesn't have good aerial velocity. It's just it's not aerodynamic.
It doesn't look very high off the ground.
Well, and then his whole point is to get this down to get the honey, and then he runs away and leaves the honey.
That's fine.
So then
You
you
gotta
gotta
beat that
he is
honey,
being
though.
chased by angry bees, to be fair.
Yeah.
then you have to bring the honey to the bear chef,
Bear chef.
and then
You get a pineapple,
yes.
So random.
which is for that guy that said he was going to abandon his wife and child to go hang out in the mountains.
Yeah, he needs his victuals.
Victuals, yes.
So parched and need a pineapple. Only things you're
So
gonna get me
this-
down from this mountain is a
is
sweet
the
taste of
part-
citrus.
I love that there's just some guy somewhere in this world just waiting for somebody to come along and give him a pineapple.
There's like a collective 16 people in this whole world. He's like, I'm just gonna. Somebody will stumble by.
But
With a
wait
pineapple.
long enough, a pineapple will come.
So Animal Village sits between you and the desert. But when you try to walk over there, there's a fat ass walrus just snoozing away.
Snorlax.
Fastralis.
The what?
The Fastralis, the fat ass walrus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. Got to blend it.
Snorlax.
So you go back to the chef. He tells you to bring Marin to move the walrus. And here's when you kind of get your first bit of extended relationship building with people within this world. So you find Marin at the beach, sort of back by where you awoke. And she starts talking to you about how Taryn doesn't believe that anything is beyond the ocean. But Marin has this fascination with what's out there. And finding Link on the ocean kind of gave her this hope that, hey, maybe there's something further out there, because I know, Link, you're not from this island. I know all 16 people here. You're not one of them. So, hey, maybe there's hope, and perhaps you brought a message for us here. And she goes on to say, if I were a seagull, I'd fly away and sing for as many people out there as I possibly could. Which foreshadows the secret ending of the game.
I just had serious flashbacks to the intro of Kingdom Hearts. There's something beyond this island.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, this game
And
came
it's
first,
much
so, yeah.
confusion.
There's a game called 365 divided by 2. And you're going to be born by sleeping.
Has
Tied
anybody
together by the
dropped in my
chain of
dreams
memories.
lately?
Well, she asks Link what he would wish for. And then she goes on to say, if you wish to the windfish, will it come true? Link obviously says nothing because I think he's mute.
He just prints it all on his label maker.
Could you imagine how annoying having a friend like that would be? Like, he's the
Link,
coolest
these are my
person in the
dreams.
world.
What do you think? Yeah!
Hey!
So this is actually a part in the game where you can miss something we also haven't talked about. The rat taking photo that's really creepy and follows you around.
Yeah. Only in the DX version.
Only in the DX version. But this is a photo you can get. You take Marin left 3 screens or 4 screens, I think, and you get a picture of her with her at the beach. But there's nothing really to do with like, you can print the photos. I think, wasn't there someone on the Facebook group who broke out their Game Boy printer just for this? Yeah.
There's 12 photos in all, I believe.
Yeah.
I only got 3.
I did. I think I got 3 or something. I just didn't care.
Yeah, me neither.
I looked through the guide and it said there wasn't a reward, so I didn't bother.
Good call, sir.
I like how when Marin joins your party, there's this text that comes on. You're like, "You got Marin. Is this your big chance?"
And he like picks her up like she's an item.
Yeah. So you have to take her to sing for the walrus, which then opens up the desert.
Oh, before you do this though, we're missing an item. Back in maybe Village,
Ocarina.
you got to get the ocarina.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this house that you can get into by lifting a rock, and you go inside. There's a bed, and naturally, being the freaking slouch that Link is, he's like, I'm gonna just sleep in this bed and see what happens.
Gonna sleep.
He goes
this
into
off.
this dream state. Mike, see Inception to understand, and he runs around and he comes across this ocarina in a dream that then materializes in reality. I don't know how he got the damn thing.
So it's a dream within a dream.
Yeah.
Within a dream, maybe?
Who knows? Whatever. Let's just keep going.
We'll get there. So yeah.
So she has to teach you the Ballad of the Windfish before she goes off to the beach, I think.
No. She just goes and sings for the walrus. You don't have to get the ocarina at this point.
I think I did though.
Because
Whatever,
you're not the one that does it, because she teaches it to you after. So
Right.
after you get the key or whatever, you can come back with the ocarina while she's singing in Animal Village for the animals. She goes, "You have an ocarina? Will you play with me?" And then she teaches you the song.
See, I think I got it before I went to Animal Village, so she taught me it in maybe Village.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you
Like, you don't... Yeah, she obviously sings for the walrus, because when you try, the walrus is like, dude, you're not hot. Like, stop. And
So
then she shows up.
there are some things you can do with Marin in your party. So if you go back into a dungeon, or you try to, one that you've already beaten, Marin will go like, I don't want to go in there. No, I'm going to wait here. You take care of yourself. And if you come out almost dead, she's going to look at you and go, you're hurt. Don't be so reckless. And then move on.
You can
I
also
thought she
you
was
can
gonna heal
also you can also attack a cuckoo with her, and
Oh, hell
then
yeah.
she tells you off for doing it for a while. But if you keep going, and she gets really excited and asks you to kill it.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
If you go
The
inside one of
wonders
the...
of guides, my friend.
If you go inside one of the houses with her and you start looking in the dressers, she goes, Link, do you always look in other people's drawers? Like, oh yeah.
Awesome.
If you break
I'll
a
look
pot,
in your drawers, baby.
she scolds you. If you're digging with her, she'll start going like, dig it to the center of the earth.
Wow.
Can you
She's a
dig
very
it,
excitable
sucker?
lady, isn't she?
Or if you try falling down the well up by the...
Mike, I got your Booker T reference. Well done.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I totally missed that. I feel bad now.
If you fall down the well up by the mysterious woods, she'll land on you and say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and apologize. What else is there? I have a list of them here. Play your ocarina and ask her what she thinks of it. She'll go like, Not very good, huh?
Oh my god.
You are shite.
If you take her to the game shop, she will ask if she can play. If you let her, she will pick the owner as a prize. So she clearly is not into
wow.
Link.
You can take a few photographs with her, I think.
If you talk to the chef, the bear in Animal Village, he'll say, "Hi ho, little Marin," and then he'll go, "Oh shucks, you're here too, Link. Sorry." So Marin gets around.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
She's the only other girl there besides the really old woman. Oh no, Miss Madame Meow Meow, but she's into animals.
Well, there's the mother with the kid.
Yeah,
There's
she's
the
taken.
witch. The witch is probably single.
Well, she lives up in the woods and probably has a gross face or something.
She might have a lovely personality.
No, there's also that other witch that sells the potions.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
there's always the walrus.
Oh yeah.
Wall's just looking for a good time. So
Just
we've
sing for
moved the
me.
walrus. All right, we've come full circle.
Yeah.
So
So
you
that was
enter
a
the
beautiful.
desert.
That was a beautiful segue.
I'm trying, man. So you enter the desert and you head north, and you come into this room that's kind of like a sand pit where you have to fight. I guess it's kind of sound like a mini Moldorm where it just jumps in and out, and you have to slash at its tail. And then it drops a key, and you fall down into this hole, and you're like, "Oh, did I die?" And no, you just take the stairs back out because that's how sand pits work. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, at the bottom of quicksand, there's always going to be a staircase.
Right. Yeah. Just never freak out. Just go down.
Yeah. Interesting tidbit here. In the northeast corner of the desert, there's a pile of bones that if you sprinkle cocaine on it, the bones will say something about that dust is so refreshing, and then have you go back into that same room you just fell down, and if you put a bomb up there and it explodes, it'll open up a pathway to an item.
Piece of heart.
I think so. I forgot to get it this time.
Yeah. It's a piece of heart.
Yeah.
Also in this desert are the cacti enemies from Mario.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yep, they are in here.
What do you know?
We haven't mentioned up until this point getting the secret seashells.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
Yeah, because we're coming up on the L2 sword here.
Basically, throughout the game, there's these secret seashells you can collect, which are in really, really hard to find locations. And if you get 20 of them, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20.
You get to upgrade your sword.
But I believe there's a total of 26.
26,
Something
that's true.
You
Yeah,
can
but if
miss
you- if-
2 of them.
Yep.
Because if you... There's a seashell palace that you can walk into, and you walk through these goalposts, like at the end of Super Mario World. And then it kind of tallies up your total seashells, and if you land exactly on 5, you'll be like, "Oh, congratulations! Here's another one." And then if you land on exactly 11, they'll go, "Oh, congratulations! Here's another one." And then if you get to 20, you get the level 2 sword.
Which is OP with both the red tunic and
But you
the
can't.
piece of
I don't
power.
think you can technically get the L2 sword before Catfish Maw.
Yes, you can.
Can you?
I did.
Oh, I didn't because I missed those 2. That's why. Because I needed
Yeah.
the hook shot to get one of the other ones.
Yep.
I didn't get the level 2 sword for ages because obviously I wasn't using a guide for the first half of the game. So
Yeah.
then when I started using the guide for the overworld, I don't know which ones I got and which ones I hadn't got. So I wasn't going all the way back. I was like, fuck it. Well, I'm using the guide for the overworld now. I'll get the ones I get. If I get to 20, I get to 20. If I don't, I don't.
Did you get to
But
20?
I did get it. I did get it eventually.
Good on
But
you,
it
Mike.
wasn't. I think I had. There was only 2 or 3 dungeons left by the time I got it.
That's okay. I mean, usually around Phase Shrine is when most people get it. It's just possible to get it before the 5th dungeon.
Yeah.
So now that you have the angler's key, this is where the waterfall bit comes in.
Yep.
Because you got to go and unlock it. We haven't talked about the teleporting around the map.
Oh no, there's 4 different teleporting points where it just looks like a fan that you jump into, and it throws you up into the sky, and you show up at another point that you've also jumped in.
I mean, when I see a fan, I want to jump into it.
Link is not afraid to jump in front of fans.
Kind of like the Raptors from Dino Crisis.
Oh, those guys.
I would venture to say that these fans are more terrifying.
Because they launch you.
That's right.
This one is Angler's Tunnel.
Yep.
Hold on, I gotta pull up the map of this one to refresh my brain hole as to what it looks like here. I don't know.
Kind of looks like a crab claw.
Yeah, they don't all look exactly like what they describe.
It's supposed to be like a fishing hook, is it? Kind of thing? Because I'm looking at it now.
Well,
Maybe.
yeah. I think before we go into this, we can talk about the secret dungeon, because this is where you can technically go to it. The graveyard. There is a secret in there. One of the screens has 5 gravestones. One has 6, another has 4. If you push them in a certain order on the screen with 5, it will reveal a secret dungeon to the game that's exclusive to the DX version. To find out what pattern you have to do that in, you have to go to the library, and there's a book up on a shelf that you have to run into, and it tells you the pattern, which not super complicated.
Right.
That's how I take things off the top shelf.
Just run into it.
Just run into
it. Color Dungeon was really neat because it obviously it was built for the Game Boy Color, so they really wanted to show off, hey, here's how playing handheld games in color is going to change things.
We're not going to give you a backlight still, but here's some color.
Yeah.
You won't be able to see the colour, but it's there, you know.
I mean, it's just little neat things, like there's different colors on the floor with different colored slime monsters, and you can only attack the color of slime monster of which you just stood on that color. What else was there?
There's a little... Yeah, those 2 guys stop you going in, don't they? And they ask you what color they are to make sure you are actually using a color Game Boy. Sure. Otherwise you'd be screwed. And I thought that was quite novel.
There's all the bouncy trampolines.
Yeah, the tiles that change colors as you jump on them and then disappear eventually. There's a ton of bosses in this, though. Mm-hmm. Like the giant pickle blob, or the Cuke Man. That's what those are called, right? Cukemons? The electric pickles? I think that's their name, Cukemon. They're cucumbers with legs that are filled with electricity. But anyway, this boss, you have to sprinkle dust on him and he transform and then attack him. There's a stone golem, which I found interesting because he jumps to stun you and you can't avoid his stun using Rock's Feather. You just have to take it in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Ghost attack, Dan.
Ghost everywhere.
Then the color boss. I don't care for this one.
Yeah.
It's a little meticulous because he comes in and he says, if I'm blue, or if it's blue, start over. Yellow is caution. Red is danger. And that's it. That's all he tells you about it. And the whole point of this battle is to attack him as quickly as you can. Meanwhile, he's bouncing away from you every time you hit him, and he's firing things at you. So you have to try to stay as close as you can, because if he gets too far away, all of the damage that you just did to him reverts him back to blue, and you have to start over. And once you get him to red, eventually then you can start pounding, and then he'll die. And after you're done with that, you get to make the best decision of the game, which some of us are prone to making the wrong decision, either between the blue tunic or the red tunic.
And the blue tunic is the right choice.
It's wrong. It's the right choice if you're bad at this game.
I agree.
I am bad at 2D Zeldas.
You made it through Minish Cap. That game's difficult.
I know.
It's okay, Dan. You could just say, I did it for the show. I know that you guys are right. I just wanted there to be an opposing viewpoint. We would accept that.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
I won't.
No, you're just wrong. So everybody here except Dan chose...
Fancier.
Everyone here except Dan chose red?
Nope.
Get in, Mike.
Well, the thing was, I had a quick look up because obviously I was given the choice. I was like, well, I'll have a quick look, see what what the benefits are and everything. And so far in the game, I mean, I wasn't finding it difficult really, but I just thought, well, I'm not struggling to kill anything, and there might be some really hard bosses later on, so why not get the extra defense?
That's logic there.
I can understand why you'd want to take the blue tunic, because if you are doing the seashell quest, you're going to get a sword that will kill everything in one hit.
Yes. And you also get the boomerang. So.
Well, actually, as well, what I tried, obviously I was emulating, so I save stated just before getting the tunics, just before choosing them, and I did try the red one out first and had a little go, just fighting the other enemies, and to be honest, it was pissing me off how every time you hit one, they were flying across the screen. I had to go and collect the items. I was like, oh, fuck this as well.
Oh man, no way. Basically, it's just infinite power piece is what it is.
Yeah. But I ultimately went with the blue.
I can respect that. I still prefer red, but I like to just wreck things. All the boss fights after this were just infinitely easier. Like in this one that we're in the Angler's Tunnel, dropped in, hit the fish 3 times, dead.
Oh my god, that fish is so easy.
Yeah. Even without the L2 sword or the red tunic.
You spam. And it dies.
I wasn't able to find the map of this one because I thought I had a note about something in here.
Oh, you got the flippers in this one.
Oh, the map is to the left of the entrance, I think.
Oh, no, I was talking about the map. I'm looking at some stuff online here right now just to find maps of these different areas. Because we're in Angler's Tunnel. I don't think there's anything too... Yeah, this one was pretty straightforward. After that, you come out and it says, to the bay. Your ethereal voice guides you to the bay. I'm drawing a blank here as to what was after this.
Catfish is more.
Yeah.
Well, there's some stuff you have to do between here and Catfish's Maw. Don't you have to take Marin back to the village?
You can get the Mambo's at this point.
This is where you are followed by the ghost, right?
Oh yeah, that was very annoying.
You have to take him to his house and then up to the graveyard.
Yes.
Fucking freeloader.
Well, we also
you get a seashell out of it.
We also missed some of the trading quest. So we took the pineapple up to Pahal in the mountain, who gives you a hibiscus, and you meet 2 different people at 2 different points. So if you were traveling through the Lost Woods to get to the second dungeon, you can hop across and meet a guy named Mr. Wright, Write, who looks suspiciously like the doctor from SimCity on Super Nintendo, like even down to his sprite. But apparently it's a reference to Will Wright.
Who?
Will Wright. He is a game designer who
Never
made
heard of him.
SimCity.
Oh.
You know, he made The Sims, Spore, SimCity.
Still don't know who he is.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, in SimCity there's a guy named Dr. Wright. And he helps you. But anyway, it's another little reference to something. He is writing letters to somebody in Animal Village, but he never gets anything back. In Animal Village, there's a goat who...
Oh man, how disappointed would you be that
Dude,
you found out you're sending letters to a goat?
I don't know. That's a pretty fine goat. Based on the picture alone.
I mean,
I found her a bit bitchy, to be honest.
a little high maintenance. Yeah. So you give her... Or no, you give her the hibiscus.
Yeah, you get a letter sealed with a kiss.
And then you take that back to Mr. Wright. He opens it, and it's a picture of Princess Peach.
With Christine on it.
Yeah. She's not only lying about her name, she's lying about how she looks. How pissed off would you be like, yeah, I'm going to go on a date with this, and you get there, and it's a goat.
And lying about her species.
90s catfishing right there.
An actual goat.
According to this guide, it is an homage to the 90s where email and pen pals were common and people frequently used false identities or described themselves differently than what they really were. And then he gives you a broom.
And you take that to the old lady in Maybe Village who freaks out over getting a broom.
Yeah, she's quite excited.
And she gives you a fishing hook, which you can then, now that you have the flippers, go back by Animal Village. There's a bridge that you can jump off of and dive under, and there's a guy fishing under the water, or under the bridge, and he pulls up a necklace. And then out in the middle of the bay, there's a mermaid who says she's lost something. You give her the necklace, and she then says you can take one scale. Interesting fact, in the Japanese version, Martha the mermaid originally lost her top. And when Link dives underwater near her, she screams, "Pervert!" In the English version, it was changed.
The Japanese have so much more fun with their games.
Yeah, because they understand it's a game.
We take offense so easily over here.
Well, kind of like in the hippo that's doing the painting. In the Japanese version, he's painting a nude model. When Link...
It's like the brothel of Landstalker, isn't it?
Yeah. When Link enters, she hides behind a towel and asks Link to leave. The sprite of the hippo was changed in the English version so that the breast and towels are removed. In the original, she crouches behind the towel to cover her chest up. In the English version, she simply appears to sit down or crouch for no apparent reason. So if you walk in and you see her crouch down, that's why they took that part out. In both versions, she still yells the same thing, "Go away." More facts for your brain.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
You're welcome, Dan. Where are we up to? Catfish Maw?
Yep.
Catfish Maw!
I just want angry-looking catfish.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's just startled that you're climbing down his throat, Mike.
Well, hold on. Before we get there, the owl starts to reveal a little bit more here. So that it's not really till halfway through the game that you start to get more of the story of the game. And the owl pops out and he goes, hey, the closer you're getting to this windfish, the more restless he sleeps, because you're starting to collect all these instruments and things are happening within the world. So you're starting to get this feeling that what you're doing is having an effect on the windfish and what's happening here in the island.
Are we essentially constructing an alarm clock?
Damn it, Mike,
It's
quit
a
ruining
ticking
things
time
for me. Link's alarm clock. Maybe, yeah.
If only somebody had one to trade, would have made life so much easier.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of Catfish Maw is when one of the bosses really starts to kind of blow the lid off of what's really happening here. The boss here was...
It was the Moldorm that basically came out of the walls. You had to hook shot it
Yes.
out and then
Oh,
cut
I like
its
this
throat.
boss.
Yeah.
It was a good boss. I also really like the mini boss for this dungeon. It wasn't just, okay, you go in and you fight him. It was, oh, you go in and fight him and he runs away. And then you go to the next room where the hook shot's supposed to be and he's like, I took it, you jerk. You need to find me. And you have to go to 4 separate rooms, fighting him 4 different times to defeat him.
Well, and the room order is indicated by the number of blocks that are in the corner around each room.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
If I'd known that would have helped me
Yeah,
so
if
much.
you
I was
walk
still-
into the first one, there's one in the top left, then the next one, it's top left, top right, then top left, top right, bottom, and then, yeah, that's how you indicate which room is which.
I was still doing the dungeons myself at this point, and it took me ages to find out which room because I knew I was looking for him because it was obvious. 'Cause I think it was the 3rd time, and it took me ages to figure out where the hell I was going.
It's subtle, but it's there. But yeah, after you beat the boss, as he's dying, he's like, he says, "You don't know what kind of island this is. You're a fool." And it kind of plants.
You don't
this,
know, man. You don't know nothing.
It plants this seed of like, am I doing the right thing? Which kind of draws into back to the whole, this isn't a traditional, conventional Zelda game. Because in all the other games, you're Link and you're trying to save Hyrule. Well, you don't really get the impression in this game yet that there's anything wrong with the land. There's no impending danger. You're just out here trying to wake the windfish. So this boss here tells you, like, this is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. We're trying to. He gives you the impression like these bosses, are trying to protect this land, which is a stark departure from traditional Zelda. Did I kill you all?
No, it
Too
just
much knowledge in my brain.
to me it's always just felt a little selfish. Like, Link is hearing from all these bosses and starting at this point that waking the windfish means the end of the island, and he's just like, well, I'm thinking about me right now, so I'm just gonna keep going.
Well, yeah, and that's after you're done with Catfish Maw. You have to go to this shrine where you see this relief on the wall, and this is where everything is explained about what would happen if the windfish awakens.
It's a really powerful moment in the game, for sure.
And I actually wrote it down because I wanted to talk about it. It physically reveals that the island of Koholint is an illusion. The whole island is just a scene on the lid of the windfish, and if you awaken him, the island will disappear, much like a bubble on a needle. And it talks directly to Link, saying, "Castaway, you should know the truth." So you, Link, by trying to get yourself off this island in the process, will then destroy the island and everybody here.
Dun
Oh,
dun
shit.
dun.
Eric, you're really killing the conversation today.
I try.
It's a really, really interesting turn. I mean, like Dan said, very powerful moment, but really, really interesting turn. And like you said as well, it seems to, you get to about this part of the game and suddenly you start getting the story, because it just felt like you would, the owl said do this, and you can get, essentially get home, really, isn't it? Because he needs to figure out where he's going, and suddenly it's thrust upon you that actually what you're doing is wrong, and it's such a strange turn.
Well, and
But I like it.
Even the owl reveals this too. He's like, no one knows for sure what's going to happen when this windfish awakens. Only the
It's
windfish
interesting as well,
knows.
because like that Marin, he's clearly, Link kind of fancies her, she fancies him, and he's just going to make her disappear. Doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes this is where, obviously Link's always a mute character. It's in situations like this where sometimes that's a detriment to the game, because if he had some conversation, some text or whatever, you'd be able to get more of a feeling of what he thinks. Rather than yeah.
Well, see, I always pictured that Link actually does talk. It's just you as the gamer don't see that.
Yeah,
See,
I can get that.
I'm not a fan of mute characters in games. I know it's done to try, like you say, put your personality onto the character, but I think it's weird. Like Half-Life, Gordon Freeman doesn't speak.
I don't understand the rationale behind that. I understand it. Well, I guess it's the developer wanting you to inject yourself into this, and you are the player character. But you're right.
But at the same time, everybody knows that you're not. Like Gordon Freeman, it's a first-person game, Half-Life, but everybody knows it's Gordon Freeman. You don't get the chance to put your own spin on it and call him Tom. So
Well, it's funny because they addressed this a little bit with Dead Space. I don't know if you guys have actually played Dead Space, but the first one, Isaac Clarke, he's completely silent, apart from he has some Link-like screams and... but when it gets to the second one, they decided to give him a voice, and he interacts with the other characters and everything. And I remember when Dead Space 2 was first announced and he was in the trailer and he was talking, everyone kicked up a massive fuss saying, oh, Isaac Clarke shouldn't talk, why have they given him a voice? And I didn't understand it. I was like, no, this is better. Like, it won't make the story seem so one-sided. It feels unnatural when they don't respond, especially when there's actual voice acting as well.
It's just happened for so long for Link as well that it's just normal.
Well, there was concern in Breath of the Wild that they were going to give Link a voice.
Oh, hi guys, it's Link.
Who wants some cocaine?
Let me sprinkle it for you.
He spoke in those terrible CDI games, didn't he?
Yes. Excuse me, princess.
I know they weren't officially Nintendo, but still.
We forgot to mention that Catfish's maw doesn't need a key.
No, you have to swim under it.
Yeah.
Through a tunnel.
It's one of 3 dungeons that doesn't need a key. There's Bottle Grotto, there's Catfish Maw, and then Turtle Rock technically doesn't need a key.
No.
But the rest of them have these side quests where the goal is to get the key right before you go into the dungeon.
Yeah. From here you go to the Face Shrine.
Where?
Shrine.
The Face Shrine.
Face Shrine.
Did anybody else notice that you could use the ocarina to kill the Pole's voice if you use Marin's song?
Yes.
My guide told me.
God damn.
And I accidentally played Thingy's Mambo, and it took me back to the entrance of the dungeon. I was like, oh, really?
You know, you can do that mid-fight, too. Feel like you're going to die. You can just be like, I'm going back to the beginning of the dungeon.
Oh,
I don't want
man.
to deal with this right now.
Well, I suppose
I'm outta here.
if you're trying to get that secret ending.
Right, you can't die.
Yeah.
Is that what I was about to ask? How do you get the secret ending?
If you do die...
No, there was a secret ending.
Yeah. If you do die, you can, on the continue screen, I think if you press start, select A and B, it'll take you back without affecting your kill count.
Right, okay.
But when you go to the loading screen, like if you ever turn the game off and come back into the main menu without using save states, it'll have a number under your name. That's how many times you've died.
Oh, obviously I was using save states, so I didn't see that. But no, I definitely died at some point. So
Yeah.
and did a save and continue because I was right near the bit, and obviously I must not have got the secret ending.
Yeah.
Well, when we discuss the ending, I'll find out if I did.
Yeah.
Face Shrine has it's the first upgrade of an item that you receive from a dungeon. You get the level 2 power bracelet, which lets you just throw elephant statues, because that's apparently the only thing you can throw with an upgraded bracelet.
Yeah. I mean...
Oh no, doesn't it, this is going forward a little bit, doesn't that also make you able to push the statue in maybe Village? Because you couldn't push it before then
Yes.
as well. That's the only other thing.
I believe that's correct.
I'm not sure you have to use the power bracelet on it, though. I just don't think it'll move until after you've completed the 6th dungeon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't actually have to use the bracelet, but it can push it, which
yeah.
you wasn't able to before. Yeah.
So maybe it means that it's a power bracelet, a passive power bracelet, that you're just not strong enough to push anything either.
It's giving you some fortitude.
Yeah. Increase your skill.
The boss for this dungeon always annoyed me at how easy he was, but then made me like really get into the game because of how real he is. Like the boss of Catfish's Maw was like, yo, you're gonna destroy the island, and this guy's like, you are a fool, you need to stop.
Yeah, if he wakes up, everything is going to die. Like he just levels with you.
Yeah, who cares? Crack on.
Well, I do. I like this place.
He looked cool as well. The face, because obviously it was just a face floating in the air, wasn't it? Really sinister. I liked it.
I mean, it was kind of difficult to make it look that sinister in a 2D game like this. Like, I just thought he was a funny face and form. Like, I'm gonna blow you up.
Yeah.
Eat my bombs, bitch.
Floor face.
Meanwhile, Mike's there shitting his pants.
Oh.
It's so sinister. Hey, wait for Silent Hill 3.
Since you guys said that all the maps are basically something to do with the name of the dungeon, I've had a website up that's had the picture of them as we've been going along through them now, and little factoid for you. The face, because obviously the map's a face because you're in the face shrine, it is Link's sprite from the original Legend of Zelda, his face sprite. And I'm looking at it now, and it is.
He's ugly, my god.
Had anybody by this point done the signpost maze?
Yes, to get
Yeah.
Manboo's song.
Oh, the frog song.
Frog song. Yeah, is what's his name? Manboo.
Manboo's Mambo.
Manboo's Manbo.
No, that's the fish from After Angler's Cave.
Manbo's Mambo.
Manbo. There's Manboo and Manbo?
I don't know.
I don't know. One of them's got a name that sounds like Manboo. It's
Yeah, that's the
That's
Mambo.
that's the fish.
Yeah. Okay, so what's this one? Mango?
He's talking about the boss frog, from the maze that's south of Maybe Village, where you get the ocarina song that wakes up the rooster.
Yeah, but what's his name?
I'm looking. Oh my
Isn't
gosh.
I thought it was Manboo.
Oh my gosh, you're so demanding.
It's Manboo.
Manboob.
Manboobs. Moobs. Moobs the
he's-
frog.
Mamu,
Oh, that was close.
who is the final boss in Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yes.
Yeah, Wart, isn't he called in that? In Mario 2, he's called Wart, I think. Am I right?
Maybe.
I'm consulting the internet. Hold on.
There's no time
It is,
to
yeah,
Google.
Wart. Yeah, he's called Wart.
Yeah, I think that's right. That sounds right. But yes, you get that. Go back into town. You awaken the dead rooster underneath the rooster statue, and after Cave 6 is where the game starts to get a little confusing, because it's not always particularly clear where to go, other than to the mountain. Here you have to go to the mountain, find that hen house where this guy's fascinated with chickens. You come in with one that can fly. There's a cave down below that you can pick up the rooster and fly around.
That guy is totally Luigi as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, speaking of picking up the rooster to fly, if you throw the boomerang prior to picking up the rooster, you can then fly around with the rooster and the boomerang circling around you as a shield.
Awesome.
It's cool how they put those kind of combined items things in. I like that.
Eagle's Tower is the first dungeon that really starts to piss me off.
I started using a guide for the dungeon at this point.
I'm so glad I did for these. I could
So,
not be bothered
the main
with
concept
walking back
behind
and
this
forth.
dungeon is that there are pillars that you need to knock out using this giant marble, and then the tower collapses on itself and changes the layout of the level. But you can't just carry this ball with you from room to room. You have to sometimes throw it across a barricade and hope that you threw it in the right location and then find your way back over there. Or if you drop it down a hole, then it goes back to the beginning and you have to start all over again. There's one spot in particular that I always remember taking a long time as a kid, where there are 2 rows of blocks that you have to get the ball in between and then get it to the other side for the pillar. And you can see like a broken out, like a wall up north that you can bomb. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
How did you guys figure that bit out?
My guide told me.
Yeah, my guy told me too.
Hours of trial and error.
Yeah.
To be honest. So you knock down the top half of the tower so that you can actually continue on, and you get upstairs, and the mini boss is like the first one that actually speaks to you. He's this guy that controls bats.
The Hinox,
Really
the Grim Creeper.
Yes, the Grim Creeper, which is an awful name because puns are the worst thing.
Oh yeah.
but he is like, hey, I got these 6 bats. I'm going to throw them at you. And you go, oh, okay. And you kill him, and then that's it. That's literally it. And he's like, I'll see you outside.
And with the L2 sword, he takes 3 hits and he's done.
And the red tunic. Woo!
Woot, woot! This level also had ledges around the outside that you could drop down onto from up above and then access different parts of the level as well.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I would
don't know
have
how you
struggled with that, I
figured
think,
it
without
out.
a guide.
This is a very confusing one without a guide. I've played it enough that I
Yeah.
know how to get through it, but I could see where this would kind of lose some people. This is one of the most challenging.
It's just it's just frustrating because there's no indication of where to go.
If I had the time, I would have figured it out.
I would have too.
But it's with the time limit we had. I mean, I hadn't even started this dungeon today, so I had to quickly get through this morning before we started the show. So yeah, I had to quickly fly through it. But yeah, I think I would have eventually figured it out. But yeah, not easy. Whilst doing it, I was like, this would have took me a while.
Well, go ahead.
Did anybody meet the anti-Kirby?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I was reading about that too, and the development team was just pulling all of these references from other games, and they were saying, like, we may not have even had permission from Hell Laboratory to use the Kirby visage. So they're just throwing shit in there all willy-nilly.
Well, fair enough. Why not?
And in typical fashion, at the end of this level, the boss also gets a little bit more real with you and starts to say, you know what, look, if you do this and you awaken the Windfish, you too are going to be lost, just like me. We're both in his dream. You don't actually exist. So they're trying... The nightmares are actively trying to prevent Link from waking the Windfish. Which brings another point, though. Are they doing it to preserve the island, or are they doing it to preserve themselves?
I'm going to say yes.
To both.
I would say the property themselves.
But now...
I mean, judging a book by a cover, they're all pretty evil-looking dudes.
But they might have a lovely personality.
But by nature, their name is... They're the Nightmares. So are they the ones that are keeping the Windfish asleep?
Yes. The Windfish was...
I know, Dan, I'm posing a rhetorical question.
Oh. Okay.
But go ahead.
I'll shut up. No.
No, go. Say it.
No, I don't want to.
Did I hurt your feelings?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I don't feel like the nightmares are trying to prevent the Windfish from waking. I feel like they're trying to prevent anybody from helping the Windfish awake. It's not really a big difference, but they're just actively trying to stop anybody from doing it.
I don't feel like waiting in a dungeon room for someone to come along is the best way to do that.
You should start a petition.
Maybe they should have all just sat around the Windfish himself. I mean, combine their forces.
Yeah. I just went to the end of the dungeon and took away the instruments and chucked them in the sea or something.
Yeah.
Oh, don't buy the very essence of them. Nightmares normally wake you up.
Well, when you come out of this dungeon, too, you find Marin is standing on a bridge to the left.
Some monsters put her there.
Yeah. And she's like, Link, I don't know how to tell you this. And you get the impression that she's going to say something about having the hots for you. And then Terran just shows up and she goes, never mind, I gotta go, see ya! And jumps off the bridge and they're good to go.
You never see her again.
Yeah.
Marin, get down from there!
But the owl comes back out and starts talking about Marin's song and how it's a song of awakening. And he's like, I wonder if she was on her way to sing her song in front of the egg in an effort to awaken the Windfish, which would have saved a whole bunch of time. It's like, Marin,
well, why did the monsters put her on the bridge? Why didn't they just throw her off into the sea?
Yeah, or rip out her vocal cords.
Oh.
Stuck.
She's not dead.
I haven't thought this through.
No. Cave 8, last cave of the game, Turtle Rock. By far the hardest one.
I mean, it's the worst kind of rock, isn't it? Turtle rock, apart from butt rock.
Oh man, I think butt rock's worse.
Can we have another rendition, Mike, please, just for the road?
That one hurt.
Sounded like it.
Yeah. That's the last one, I'm afraid.
So the name of this dungeon is recurring throughout the series too. You find it in A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Turtle Rock from A Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is
They're
kind
not
of
the
a
same.
this one is a mashup of all of the mini bosses throughout the rest of the game are all in here. So you're doing a ton of boss fighting, and a lot of times you come back in and you have to refight them. So just killing them once doesn't kill them permanently. But the boxer, the true mid-level boss, the boxer is by far the worst, because if he hits you with his punch, he knocks you out, and then he comes up, gives you a super punch, and kicks you back to the beginning of the map.
That's why save states are your friend.
Nah.
So,
Yes.
Mike, did you end up using a guide for this part?
Yeah, it was these last 2 dungeons I used a guide for.
Okay.
Like I said, because I managed to finish the game about an hour before we started recording. So I was rushing through these last 2 dungeons.
What saved me in here is, did you know you can shoot the boomerang at the sparks and get fairies out of them?
Yes.
Because your guide told you.
I was using the boomerang for everything, though.
Yeah, the boomerang is the most powerful weapon.
See, no real need for the red
Which
tunic,
we
is
forgot
there?
to talk about how you get it. And what did you guys trade away for it?
The shovel.
Shovel.
Yeah, there's only certain weapons you can trade away, but I got rid of the shovel for it. Once you have the secret mirror, which you get by completing the trading quest, you get a scale, then you go put it on the mermaid, and the mermaid moves and opens up a pathway for you to go down and get the magic mirror, correct?
Yes.
And that just allows you to see more stuff. So you walk into the cave on the bay, and then you see this guy down there that you can then trade away one of your items, and he gives you the boomerang. But
Which is a strange trade. Give me that shovel. Here's a boomerang.
yeah, I'm gonna go dig some stuff up. But
It's
you don't
no
need it
stranger
anymore.
than any of the trades, Mike.
Because
yeah, true.
if you've already gotten the level 2 shovel or the level 2 sword, you don't need the shovel for anything.
I want a level 2 shovel.
It just digs 1 foot deeper.
Also, like, scoops the eyeballs out of your enemies.
It's a grave digging level.
Link goes grave robbing.
So you beat Blano, the boxing penguin, who, when I played this when I was younger, I, like, completely messed up on getting the L2 sword. And so he was, like, the most impossible boss.
He is really
It takes,
tough.
like, 15 hits with the L1 sword. But with the red tunic and the L2 sword, it was, like, three
two or
spin
three,
attacks. Yeah, something like that. So after you beat him, you get the magic rod. But only if you found the only crystal switch in the entire dungeon.
I have that written down as just massively frustrating because it's hidden in a room. Typically, when there's a wall you can blow up, it's somewhat indicated. This one definitely not.
Yeah.
So
Again, this was another one where if I wasn't using a guide, this would have taken me a long time, I think. Because that crystal switch is in the middle of nowhere.
Right, and you need it so you can melt the ice cubes in the sub-dungeons and whatever. But you get that, you find your way to the mini-boss who's like this half-lava fish crab rock. And you have to use your magic rod, which just shoots fireballs. And you break off its shell and you just keep hitting it, a lava monster with fire, which, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it makes
but that's
sense.
okay.
Really didn't.
You do that, you get your final instrument, the thunder drum, and then you can literally just go beat the game in probably 5 minutes.
if you know the route through the egg.
Correct. I think there's only 4 possible patterns, so if you don't feel like going back
3,
to the library...
actually.
Are there only 3?
You're 3.
Okay. So you can just go right to the egg. You have to use the ocarina and sing the Ballad of the Windfish. And
I have a question. Sorry to interrupt. my guide obviously told me to go and get the path from the book. In the game, is there any hint to do that beforehand?
No.
I think there is one hint. You go into the library, and the book that you're supposed to read says that there's print that you can't quite make out.
And you need the mirror.
So you need the mirror for that.
But what's the odds you remember that?
Because that was
0.
right at the beginning.
So that does force you to complete the trading quest.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I always thought the trading quest, like halfway through, was optional.
It did seem it for the longest time, but yeah, if you want to get what route you need to go, because it changed. There's 3 different combinations that it can be. Yeah, you do need it.
You couldn't blag going through that route either, because you wouldn't know if you'd done it right or not.
Yeah.
So
I did
Yeah,
left, up, right, up, left, up, right, up.
Yeah, that was
That's
mine
the
as
one
well.
I got.
Yep.
I had right up, right up, right up.
Oh, that's so much easier.
It's so easy. So yeah, you get to the egg, you sing, all the instruments come out and play one of I like this song enough, but it's like, I don't know, Mike might understand. Oh, you probably understand too, Eric. It's kind of off the beat. Like the melody doesn't line up with everything else, and it kind of annoys the.
Well, you're trying to mash together 8 instruments that don't normally go together.
That's fair, but I'm just being a music knob.
Yeah.
Nerd. Knob. Music knob. That's a new term.
Yeah.
You're a music knob.
The ending boss to this game is very difficult. There's so many forms to it. You start with the giant
Shadow
blob,
Nightmares.
which you have to sprinkle magic powder on to get him to turn into Aghanim's shadow, who you have to shoot the energy balls back at. But occasionally he'll shoot one out that's an X that just ignores
Those
your
suck.
attack.
You never shot an X out to me.
Me either.
Really?
I
Expecting it
I
every
just
time.
kept hitting the back at him.
Then it's Moldorm Shadow, harder version of Moldorm, which is the snake with the tail. He's pretty easy. Then there's Ganon Shadow, just like Link to the Past has blazing bats, and you have to actually attack him with spin attacks only.
You can actually use the Pegasus boots.
Can you?
Yeah, you can just charge attack into him a bunch. That's what I did.
Oh, I thought it was spin attacks only.
I might be making shit up, but I don't think I am.
No, I'm reading it just here. Yeah, you can use the Pegasus boots as well.
Oh, okay.
Then you can do.
Right.
Then the next form is Landmilla. Chases you around the
Yes.
room. Magic Rod kills him really quick.
It's like 3 shots.
Yeah. And then you get the last version, which is Death Eye. Did you guys all equip your Rock's Feather for this one?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And my guide said to shoot him with arrows, and then a bit further down it said use the boomerang, and it kills him with 1 hit. I was like,
Correct.
really?
The boomerang kills him in
we
one hit.
must have been using the same guide then, because that's what mine did. It said, "Oh, use arrows," and then if you then go underneath, there was like an advert just in the middle of the paragraphs. And you went further down, it said, "Oh, just hit him once with the boomerang." It's like, oh, why didn't you put that at the fucking start?
I don't know.
So I'm just reading through this here, and it says the boomerang's damage is equivalent to 15 arrow attacks.
Wow.
Ugh.
That's insane. That is a wildly overpowered weapon.
No need for the red tunic then, really, is there?
So then after this, you get
He's
a...
just glossing over that one down.
Shut up, Dan. Don't like it. I refuse to admit that you might be right, even though you might very well be right. You're probably right.
Thanks.
After this, you get a cutscene of the entire island disappearing, but not before.
Like on Lost.
Oh god, don't start that conversation. We don't have time.
Yeah. There was some. I have a note of something after. Who was this that was talking about this? They're saying that they were that we were born of nightmares to take over the world. We made the windfish sleep endlessly. So this was the final boss talking as you're killing him, I believe.
Yeah.
If the windfish doesn't wake up, the island will never disappear. we would have been the monsters of this place, but you had to come here and disrupt our plan. So technically, they're trying to project onto Link that he's the monster trying to destroy the island. Which is kind of a neat concept, because normally in all the other games, like I said, Link is there to save the land, and here he's technically about to destroy it. Which goes on, which is exactly what happens at the end of the game. The island physically disappears.
And Link wakes up from his cocaine dream, and he's on a piece of
But
log,
not before...
just
Well,
floating
here's
in
the thing,
sea.
though. Not before Link is shot out of the egg on a jet of water. So it begs the question, was Link really in a dream? Or was he actually there? Because you watch the island disappear, so it is a physical manifestation of an island. And Link was shot off the island.
I think
and
it
may
is
have,
physically there, but it is still a dream.
maybe everything on the island was a dream. So maybe he washed up onto the shore?
Like Tidus from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Or maybe like this is all happened in like the blink of an eye. You know, like that moment where they say your life flashes before your eyes before you die. He's in that shipwreck, is jetted out by that stream of water, and all this happens in like 5 seconds in his eye.
Yeah, and it could be the jet of water hitting him is what's waking him up.
Yeah. Or we're just making shit up. It could be anything. It could be a boat. Who knows?
Well, before all this, too, the owl comes back and drops a whole bunch more story on you and says, he reveals himself to be the guardian of the dream world. And he technically failed at that because one day the nightmares showed up and started wreaking havoc and made the windfish eternally slumber. But he starts talking about the windfish. Then you talk to him. And he's like, in my dreams, an egg appeared and was surrounded by an island with people, animals, an entire world. So you're talking to the windfish. He's revealing his dream to you. But when I awake, the island will be gone. Only a memory of the dream world will exist in the waking world. Someday, you, Link, may recall this. That memory must be the real dream world.
God, that weekend was such a bender.
No shit. And then he says, Link, let us awaken together.
Oh, yeah.
So
he wakes up and he's just spooning the windfish.
No, you don't spoon the windfish. The windfish spoons you.
looks over your
Windfish's
cheek
big
and
spoon.
goes, was it good for you too?
Why didn't you look at me during?
Can we just talk about the secret ending where Marin's face appears in the sky and she has a complete derp face?
Well, there's another secret ending too where Marin becomes a seagull.
No, that's the same one.
Oh.
Oh, is that what I didn't get that?
I didn't
must have
either,
saved
but-
a save state after
It's
death.
because you died.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the jury's out on if this was actually all really 100% a dream, because Link looks up in the sky and sees the windfish floating away.
Yeah, I'm not going to shit on the ending like you said I would, but and I know they've clearly left it very open ended. Was it a dream? Was it a dream? Was it a dream? And and it's obviously created a lot of discussion between people. But if they hadn't done it as they had to create the discussion, it is still just it was all a dream kind of ending, which are the worst kind of endings. You've made me appreciate it more than I initially did, but still, it is kind of it was all a dream, or was it ending? And I don't know. It kind of soured the end of the game for me personally. It hasn't ruined it. I still fucking loved it.
I view it more as kind of like what was happening in Alundra, where Alundra was a dream walker. Maybe in this instance, Link was shipwrecked near the windfish. Maybe the windfish was sleeping under the ocean and he fell into this dream with these nightmares.
Sea.
And then Link was there to help him awaken from his dream. So the game itself, technically, was a dream, but Link still physically existed and did all of this stuff.
And we got to remember, this came out in '93. This was like I don't want to say pretty early, but early enough so the motif of this was all a dream wasn't exactly overdone by that point.
I guess, yeah, I'll give you that. And also, a game like this, a story like this, and the discussion it's created on a Game Boy game as well. That is impressive. I'll give it that as well.
This game has aged really well too.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it.
Eric, you mentioned earlier on that this game it felt like an adventure and had a certain magic about it when you were discussing how it was created and everything. And on the Game Boy, I mean, I had a Game Boy growing up, but I mainly played things like Tetris, Mario, Kirby, and Pokemon, obviously. So I've obviously never played a 2D Zelda either. So when it comes to adventure games on the Game Boy, the only really massive one I played was the Pokemon series. And when I first started this game, it really does give you that feeling of adventure that you were discussing earlier. When I started this, I felt the same kind of excitement my younger self did when I first left Pallet Town with my first Pokemon. And it felt good. I knew it was going to be an excellent game from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
I really, really enjoyed this game. This has always just been one of those games that if I ever want to kind of be teleported back to my childhood, I'll play this for a little bit.
I played this twice to completion this summer.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I played it before I donated to Patreon, and then I was like, we should play Link's Awakening. I'm going to start this over. Let's go.
Fair enough.
Good choice.
Good
Dan.
choice, Stan.
I did it. Yay.
I feel like we gave this a more deep dive than we did the first time around. So
you guys are more seasoned on 2D Zeldas than me. Obviously, I thought this was fantastic. I'm definitely going to play A Link to the Past when I get my mini SNES. But ignoring Link to the Past, what other ones do you guys recommend me going to as a 2D Zelda experience?
Minish Cap.
Agreed.
That's Game Boy Advance, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. You have to play Minish Cap. It's just fantastic.
Okey-doke.
And then Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons are both quite good. Like Eric said, one's puzzle-based, one's action-based.
Yeah, Oracle of Ages and Seasons are a really good follow-up to this. Even though they're not made by Nintendo proper, they still do a great job of emulating the feel of this game. Which ties into one of the questions from our community. Segue.
Nice segue.
Thank you. Mike, you posted this just now. If you want to follow us on our Facebook, it's facebook.com/group/Factory Seal Podcast. Josh Moss wants to know, what are your top 3 portable Zeldas and why? The nipples tip in my book is Link Between Worlds, maybe my favorite of all time, but yet to play the Switch Zelda. I do want to point out that we all recommended he play Link Between Worlds because I sang that game's high tunes. It is fantastic. My top 3 portables are Link's Awakening, Minish Cap, Link Between Worlds, in that order.
Minish Cap, Link's Awakening, A Link Between Worlds.
This is my first portable Zelda, so I can't answer.
Link's Awakening, Link's Awakening, Link's Awakening. Dempsey Gilbert?
I'm going to go with Link's Awakening, Oracle of Ages,
Ooh.
Link Between Worlds.
Ooh. Have you played
I
Minish
really
Cap?
like Minish Cap, but I have a strong attachment to Oracle of Ages. I put a lot of time into that in Seasons.
Yeah, I do like those games a lot. Mark Marcheshi wants to know, one of the biggest young blunders I made as a kid was exchanging Link's Awakening to Funko Land. I didn't do it for many games, but I beat it so many times I felt, why not? Any of you have a clear worst exchange or game giveaway regret?
Absolutely
Yes.
do.
Oh, yeah.
When my parents sold my Mega Drive.
I had a copy of the Lunar 2 Complete. Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete. Then I'm like, get rid of this. When PS2 came out, I just offloaded a bunch of PS1 stuff, including a lot of rare RPGs that I spent years rebuilding up.
Was that the special edition? Because I literally just bought that.
Yeah, the one that came with like the necklace and the pouch, and it's like
Oh, yeah.
4 inches thick.
Yeah, I just picked that up, the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, really cool. It was in mint condition, too. I was not happy about that.
Mine was definitely... It's funny because I just repurchased the game. It was Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes for the GameCube. That game is so good, and I sold it years ago. And then the price kept rising, and I finally dished out the money for it. But
I have two very similar situations. I've mentioned to you guys before that in my early 20s I had a little bit of time off video games. It wasn't intentional, it just kind of happened. And at that point I wasn't playing games anymore, so I sold my PS2 and all my games then, which was shit. And then a couple of years ago now, me and my girlfriend at the time, before I met Hazel, we went on a little trip around Europe that was supposed to be like a big worldwide trip, and we were going to be away for ages and stuff, but I ended up coming back. I sold my PS3 and all my games, everything I had. And that's why my game collection isn't very big now, because for the longest time since I've been back in the UK, I've generally been trading games. But I keep them now. But yeah, both times where I've just essentially sold all my consoles and what I've had at the time.
I just can't bring myself to do it. I get too attached.
Me too. Eric gets so attached he doesn't open them.
Yeah. Let's see.
But no, never again. Never doing anything like that again.
Jeremy Lucas wants to know Link's Awakening death counts. He had 10.
2 or 3?
No
Yeah,
way.
about 2 or 3.
We had save states.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't use save states. 20.
But even so, I didn't die a lot because I had the blue tunic.
Tunic.
Yeah, that as well.
CHEWNIC. The tunic.
Yep.
just 2 deaths for me.
Yeah. Let's see. Maddie Hallmark wants to know, Mike, what hair products do you use to keep your hair so majestic?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
It's bacon grease.
Yeah.
And snot.
It's the blood of my enemies.
Brand new listener just approved to join the group like 4 minutes ago, already posted a question. Sarah Lopez says, hi, we're on our way to the Stockton Con and my cousin Mona is a huge Mega Man fan. Is there any way you could convince her to buy a Mega Man helmet? If you're a huge Mega Man fan, you don't need to be convinced. You need to be convinced not to buy one. Other than that,
should buy one.
Get it!
Get it!
You need it. You just need it. My firstborn daughter, her first picture as a human being, well, maybe second picture, is with a Mega Man helmet on.
What, did she come out of the womb wearing it?
Well, yeah.
She knew her audience.
God, this is my dad. No, we took the normal picture, like, yeah, here she is, and then after they got her all cleaned up, I put a pink knit Mega Man hat on her, and that's what she wore.
Nah.
Yeah.
Aww.
Nah.
Guys, we have a competition to judge. Because, in honor of Mr. Dan C. Gilbert, we're giving away a copy of Link's Awakening. Not the DX version, though, because I'm keeping that one for myself.
He's so generous.
Well, I don't have that one yet, the physical cart. And it was $30 for that.
$30.
30 greenbacks. The gold-backed dollar.
All of the contest entries should have been compiled.
I believe they have.
And Dan, since this is your show, you get to lead off the judging. Everybody have the post open?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. I really want to take the term shitty literally here. If I was to do that, I'd kind of push my own because it's made with some very
Rigged.
awful material. I will not vote for myself for the sake of posterity.
Fix.
I really like Monty Glover's Colorful Poo.
Well,
Not
I
gonna
like
lie.
Russell Schaefer's because he goes, in honor of Monty Glover, I lovingly submit my second entry. Now, Russell was the guy that did the fidget spinner, so I think on principle alone, he can't win
Agreed.
because he owns a fidget spinner and then used it and then videoed himself using it. He goes on, it's so his picture is 3 poop emojis which is awesome because it's perfect Triforce. It's extra shitty because it was Monty's idea, but he was unable to find them, and I'm now cold-bloodedly ripping his heart out by taking his idea.
Good effort.
So it could actually be a huge slap if we allowed Russell to win using Monty's idea.
Santos put a lot of effort into his.
His is...
I'm 100% putting my vote in for Santos Lopez.
I didn't catch it at first. There's some hidden pictures in there.
There
My
is.
God.
If you click on the picture and look at the Triforce,
It's amazing.
it's our pictures from the fan page. It's really
amazing.
good. I mean, Dan, don't get me wrong. I like yours and all.
I mean, I panicked. It's okay.
Hazel's is just... Was she just at the grocery store and she's like, yeah, put some
Oh,
yogurt up?
she got so fucking excited about that as well.
God.
I'm gonna get the bits of a trifle. I'm gonna make the trifle force. Oh God.
I was,
I'll be in this aisle.
I was at the grocery store last night when I bought the grill. We wanted to get some meat. And I found tri-tips, and they were most of them were kind of in the shape of triangles. And I was sitting there in this huge bin of meat trying to find 3 perfectly triangular tri-tip meats to arrange into a Triforce, but I just couldn't find the 3. I was going to do the tri-tip force.
Damn it.
I know.
So I would consider giving Chad Hager my vote with his shitty games,
Is he
but
straddling?
he's got Tubin in there, and that's not a bad game, so I can't give him the vote.
But he has both gold carts for Link and Zelda. So I like Mike Marcheschi's treat force because his dog treats look like triangles, and then he's got the Zelda stuff. I mean, it's pretty shitty. Let's see. I don't know. Votes. Where are we at?
Santos Lopez.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Santos as well.
Santos Lopez.
I think it has to be. It's just that good.
It's a spectacular effort. Well done.
That's the second game he's won.
He puts in the effort.
He won Driver 3. Back in the driver's seat.
Oh, lucky him.
I don't know if that ever made it to him. I sent it. So congrats, Santos. You win a copy of
Woo! Good work.
Link's Awakening for the Game Boy.
Dan Dancy Gilbert.
We're going to be doing another contest coming up very soon. For... Should we tell them what it's going to be for?
Yeah.
A copy of Sonic Mania. Or Sonice the Hedgepig.
Oh, God.
Sonice the Hedgepig. We'll be announcing details on that throughout this week. I've got something fun recorded to announce that.
Yes, we do.
Guys, that's it. We have crested the 3-hour mark.
It's been a long one.
Jesus.
3-hour show, Dan C. Gilbert.
I'm glad I could contribute to the
You
nonsense.
got your
It
money's
was
worth.
a 3-hour show. That's Gilligan's Island.
All right, I'm done. That's enough of me.
Yes, I killed it. No, Dan, thanks for joining us. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you,
This
Dancy
has
Gilbert.
been great. I've enjoyed every moment of this.
And for being such a great member of the community too. It's people like you that keep us going.
We love the Gilbert.
You what?
We love the
Huh?
Gilbert.
Oh, that's good. I'll be sure to leave immediately.
Yes. Don't be like Mike and just stay around.
It was the will of the people.
Guys, can I stay?
Where's the will of the people?
Hey! You guys asked me.
Nah.
Hold on, I think
If it wasn't for me, it would have just been you two discussing Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
That would have been terrible.
And I taught Dan some things he didn't know about Final Fantasy VII. There's a few little tidbits I gave that he didn't know. So you learned something.
We have a couple emails I want to get to real quick. Darren McCune writes in, "Hi guys, Daz here from Yorkshire, England."
Oh, Yorkshire.
There's clearly an IRE at the end of it. So, as you are all going to Mike's wedding later this year, having known him for about a month, will Mike be having a retro gaming room at his evening do? A mate of mine had one for his wedding, crammed full of old arcade machines and retro consoles, and it was a roaring success among the guests. Daz.
Do it, Mike.
You'll have to clear it with Hazel.
Get her out of the cupboard.
She's not allowed in the cupboard until the microphone's turned off. That's the rules.
Yeah.
Most likely not, because we're not as lame as it sounds. It's not lame, but we're not having a video game themed wedding, so it's more.
But we might get to go to a Kido, right?
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
The night before.
Get in there nice and early and crack on playing some games in there.
Excellent.
Should be fun. Drink a few beers. Get down on some VR. But yeah, no, we're not having a video game themed wedding. We when we discussed the wedding and everything like that, we kind of some ideas floated around, but we kind of, especially like the invitations and everything, we've kind of gone more on the music side of things rather than the video game side of things. Sorry to disappoint, guys.
Last email comes from my longtime childhood buddy, Mr. Scott Girardi. I'm going to paraphrase his email here. He is re-listening to all the podcasts, and it's still as great as the first time. He says, "You gay guys have great replay value. My main reason for the note is that while re-listening to all of the shows, he got excited about the straddling competition. I think you should hold at least one of those every year, if not twice. You guys have wrangled in more listeners that may have not been present the first go-around. You may get a better turnout with some dandy picks." I agree. Maybe
Excellent suggestion.
Maybe for a Christmas box. Maybe that should be our Christmas thing every year. Straddling contest Christmas box.
Excellent. I like it.
Good stuff. You want to send us an email, factorysealed@manatank.com or facebook.com/group/factorysealedpodcast. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. We're starting to get some good ones on there now.
Yes, we are.
That are more
Including
representative.
from somebody called Dancy Gilbert, I believe.
Ooh, who's that guy?
I don't know what that is.
Is he okay?
God knows.
We don't know what we're playing for next show because Dan just sent us a message saying, "Oh, I'm not going to be around," because we were going to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So we got to figure out what we're playing for next show.
But we will be playing that the show after.
Yes, but Dan will not be here in 2 weeks.
No.
Okay.
Boo.
Boo.
I'm moving house. Sorry.
No. Guys, that's going to do it for this week. Once again, Dan, thanks so much for joining us. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Yes,
I was talking
thank
to
you,
the other
Daniel.
Dan.
Oh.
It's been a joy, sir. It's been a joy.
Guys, we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Boo.